Hey man, why do we have this thing on here? Ooh.
What thing do we have on here?
I don't know. There's some. Was this in the? This must have been from the show before us or something. No one of them.
Oh, yeah, they must have set up an auto. I thought you did it.
No, I didn't do it. I got a song. Oh,
So you're welcome, Sean. Father Sean. Yeah, they set up.
well, I mean, we play his promo anyway. That's not really watch.
Here it comes through.
The Mediterranean diet is the world's healthiest diet,
What?
and
That's the
Factor
one
makes it
Jay's
easy
on.
to
Hello?
eat that way every day.
Jay's
A
on
true
this
Mediterranean
Mediterranean diet here.
On my sex life at
Hey,
58.
hey,
Then I tried this.
what-
So I'm 58, back in the dating world. My erection issues were
All right,
killing
this is for later. Oh no, we're out of there.
Uh-oh,
Oh,
yeah.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. That's for later in the show. Yes, that's from when we talk about the lefties losing it and stuff like that. You'll get to hear that lovely song about woke people.
What's that in the background? Jay flying in.
Jay's been smoking some good shit tonight. Is all I can tell you. No, I know what to tell you. I just warn y'all ahead of time. We won't have to worry about it. Shawnee's been taken by aliens, and
He is, yeah, he's on the probe ship right now outside the rings of Saturn, getting a tour of the not the galaxy, but it's the solar system.
I hear they're going to give him a dip-de-dee-do, and I don't know what a dip-de-dee-do is. So.
He is overdue for a flea dip. That is true.
So I'm not sure where that's going. We'll just keep an alert out in case something happens. You know. Oh well, that's kind of serious, Jack. I grew up in a family full of alcoholics. You know, it was weird because when I was a kid, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, I used to go to AA with my grandmother because she was a full-blown alcoholic. And she had an ungodly tolerance for alcohol. In fact, everyone in my fucking family did it. It's some kind of freak thing. That's why I don't like to drink, because it cost me a fortune just to get drunk. And you just and being from New Orleans don't help, because you know down here you go out at 10 o'clock at night and you stay out until lunchtime the next day. Then you go, and then you go to sleep and you do the whole thing over again. It's it's you know the way it is.
Well, yeah, I mean, it used to be in the 90s when I was in college. You know, $10-$20. You could get a pretty decent buzz at a dive bar. You know, $1.50 a beer, $2 a beer, and whatnot. You can get pretty quickly sacked.
Z-Geners are wimps. Well, I'm glad they don't drink. That's a good thing. They don't need to drink. Not everybody can handle alcohol. And Z-Geners obviously can't even handle pot.
Yeah, there's some people that can't even handle straight oxygen. So,
you know, no one died by marijuana until Z-Gener started smoking. I know, huh? Ain't that some shit?
True. Yeah, and you also noticed, Joe, there wasn't a peanut allergy until the Z-Geners came around.
I know, man. You Z-Geners are fucked up.
What the hell is that all about? You know, I love peanut butter.
Actually, Jimmy, my son's a millennial. Yeah. Yeah. Shh, don't tell anybody, but yeah.
Yeah, Joe and his son are only 10 years apart.
I started really young. What can I say? I got kids older than him. What do you mean? Anyway, what's that, Denise? No,
I mean, your son's like close to my age, right? He's like, what, 48?
No, he's just made 40. What are you trying to come shoot you, man? He will fly Pittsburgh, shoot your ass, man. Beat you to the Gators, or just drop you off at some lobster farm up there, man. Jesus.
That's why I live up here in Pennsylvania. There are no gators.
There are lobster farms, though. They'll eat you just as
there
good
may
as
be some lobster farms. I can't deny that. But as far as I know, except for maybe the few idiots that have them as pets, there are no naturalized alligators in this area.
Frankie. No, in all fairness, so when I was young, I mean, I drank. I don't even know how to explain it. So
I hardly left any for the fishes, man.
On the weekdays, they would bring home a fifth or two a night, and we'd shoot darts for shots, and then we'd go out till about 2 or 3 in the morning, and then we'd go to work. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we were out pretty much. I think we'd get like 3 or 4 hours sleep in between, and just be out. And you know what's weird about New Orleans is everywhere served food back there even before it was mandatory. Now it's mandatory. If you serve alcohol, you have to serve food. But
yeah, it's most Bible Belt areas, especially on Sundays, restaurants in Savannah have to have like 50% food sales of their Sunday tickets versus the alcohol in order to maintain their Sunday liquor licenses, or they can't be open.
So this all started down here because the clubs on the weekends decided, look, we'll have barbecues like at 5 o'clock in the morning. Everybody can come over, and eat. And
that's cool.
Gino's decided to put a po' boy shop in that didn't even open till 1 a.m. And so, I mean, they were.
I think we talked about this last night on the other show, or the other night. I don't know when, but there was a restaurant. I don't remember the name of it. It opened in Savannah while I was there, and this restaurant was right on the corner of like Whitaker and Broughton, I believe. But right up the street, 2 blocks up, on the same side, the other side of the street was the place where I hung out, Jim Collins. And this restaurant opened up, I think, at like 5 p.m. And they did brunch, they did omelets, and they did breakfast, and they did like lunch sandwiches. But they didn't open until 5 p.m. and they closed at like 5 or 6 in the morning. But their main idea was to purchase outgoing bar traffic at 2 and 3 in the morning when the bar started closing. And I'll tell you what, they made the best goddamn omelet you'll ever get. I mean, it was like 3 foot wide, 2 foot high, and then you'd have to eat it in like waves, like eat half of it today and half of it tomorrow, and maybe another half on a third day. That's
all
how
of
big they
it,
were.
but all of the food started because they did wanted the business. So they gave you the food.
Yeah.
You could get red beans and rice. You get barbecue chicken. You get all kind of shit, and they would give it to you. You didn't have to pay for it. And then later on, so that's when Geno's and them started putting in restaurants at night. So like he'd go to Swamp Room, get a swamp burger, or a steak, or go to the Bottom Line, get a steak, get a hamburger, or whatever. And then a lot of them served other kind of food besides that. Like Geno's only served po' boys, but I mean, you'd be smashed. Walk in Geno's Speakeasy, get a po' boy, eat the thing while sucking on a double shot daiquiri, put it down, go smoke a fatty, and then walk into the club.
As a former bartender, one of my specialties are, excuse me, daiquiris and frozen drinks, and particularly my gold cup, or high level margarita. People like that the most because I hate tequila, and when you don't like a particular liquor, I found in the bartending industry, bartenders who aren't a fan of the particular liquor they make the drink of, they are usually the best ones who make that drink, whether it's a gin and tonic or a Mai Tai. If they hate any of the flavors that go into it, for some reason, they just make it better than someone who likes it, because someone who likes that flavor tends to make it a little stronger than it should be.
It's, Fred, I grew up,
bartending is fun.
When I first got home from the Navy, I was working for this company, Orleans Icy. I was the Icy Bear. Yeah, I was a sales rep, but I was the Icy Bear. The mascot.
Oh, you weren't in the truck driving around? So
no, I had routes and all, but
okay.
They gave me the gig as the Icy Bear. One, it paid really well, and two, it was a lot of fun. And it
all the
happened
free
to be
ices you can drink too. I'll bet.
It happened to be doing the World's Fair.
Ooh,
so I got to go to the World's Fair, the entire World's Fair, for free. It was great. I got access to everything behind stage, in front of stage.
Or at least where the vending machines where the ices were. Yeah,
got to go to the Breakers games and stuff like that. That's back when they had, what was it, the USFL or whatever the hell they had, the other football league.
Okay, the summer league.
They were supposed to be.
It was an indoor league too, wasn't it? USFL.
Yeah, it was, but it was a full league. It was just retarded, is what it was. But we
it was like football light. I mean, the field was smaller. It was inside. It was like
no, but I know they had that too.
Hockey and football.
No, they had that too. But they had the stuff that where like Bobby Hebert came from. That was real football. They actually played real football. It was just a different league, but it had almost all the same rules.
Indoor football was a real league too. I mean,
but that was different. That was way shorter fields.
Hybrid.
That was like way shorter fields. Had different contact rules. It was way different. But anyway, getting back to what we're talking about, it's
food.
So while I was working there, the daiquiri was actually invented. The frozen daiquiri was actually invented. So, and Icy was the company who put it out. They had all the machines, everything.
Well, so the original daiquiris were just on the rocks. They weren't like
they weren't. And then they were made with a blender.
Yes,
we used a blender to make them. But Icy developed
usually with ice.
Not only did Icy develop a machine, but because the World's Fair was going on, they developed a super cool machine that could produce way more than a regular machine could. Because they had such a bigger demand for the World's Fair.
Do they perchance make a home version of that?
So anyway, the guy calls me one day. He said, "You've been doing the Icy Bear. I got a job for you." I'm like, "What?" He said, "We want you to go out with customers in the new daiquiri van." I'm like, "The daiquiri van?" Well, they had this badass van, all soft inside, with 2 daiquiri machines in it, full of daiquiri mix, all ready to go with the flavors on the side. This is before they were mixing the flavors together. And I'm like, what? So I go in. These fucking things were selling so fast. We had a 2-year waiting list for people just to get in the van. So I just told the boss, I said, "Why don't we just set something at the office? They can come here and check it out." And that's what we did. But they were selling around the country as fast as they could produce, and they were leaving the place. And down here, because the liquor rules are so different, We had drive-through daiquiri shops popping up all over the place. Yes, Jimmy, you can get drive-through. Still can. Yeah, oh yeah. Just make sure the lid's on it and try to keep the straw out of it while you're driving if you can. I know you're going to want to sip on. And it's hard to tell because it could be a malt in your hand or something. You know, it's hard for a cop to tell unless he sees a big daiquiri logo on the side of the damn cop, and then you're screwed. Yeah, they have drive-through liquor stores and all kind of lovely stuff. But I mean, you can get mixed drinks. You can drive through and get mixed drinks. Matter of fact, you can get something to eat while you're waiting for your mixed drinks. If you want to, just order ahead and have them do you some wings and some daiquiris and stop by, pick up the whole mess, and head out to wherever you're going to head out to. Well, yeah, Marty, we're going to talk about Chinese in a little bit. Yeah. Well, I mean, I followed all of it, and I found it to be honestly boring. There just wasn't nothing I didn't expect. I expected Xi to whine about Taiwan. I expected Trump to ignore him. It's exactly what happened. I expected us to give a little bit here. And so to show up, China is trying to get to $20 trillion this year in economy. So he's trying to get Trump to help him shore that up. And the U.S. is going to be around 32 to 38 trillion, depending on a few different things. And they're just, trying to shore up some business. I didn't hear anything about Iran that in any direction that made me feel insecure or secure. It just pretty much was. Actually, the most of the news I got out of Europe that I found was interesting had nothing to do with China. It had to do with the European crybabies. Yes, I'm going to send Doomsday J over there on their ass pretty soon.
Look out.
So, the Europeans, I guess, didn't think Trump was going to start pulling shit out of Europe. So now Putin says, well, wait a minute. I'm going to end the Ukrainian war because it may be something more, how do you say it? More feasible, more better. I forgot how he said it, but suggesting that there might be a softer European target. Gosh, I better watch it. But anyway, the Europeans are bitching that America can't just pull out.
I guess we kind of evolved out of the food porn segment we were just in, but that's for later on in the show.
Yeah, but anyway, so I mean, Europe is in a place where they're on the edge. Europe could actually fall here. This could be the demise of Europe. And not just demise Europe. There's a clip later on we have about some stuff going on in Canada. The world is a little bit less secure than people would like to think it is. And the Europeans are pissed because the Americans are talking about taking all of their stuff and leaving.
And I mean, it seems pretty evident that we're pretty buddy with China now.
Well, I wouldn't call us buddy with China, but I would. China.
I'd say we're dealing with them on a different foot, though. That's for sure.
I don't see the problem with China is you can only go this far with China. That's it. Boom, boom. After that, the bitches will just cut off your hand and take it. So it's just unfortunate that's who they are. So we know we can only give them X amount of room. That's why we're going to work a deal with NVIDIA to give them a class 3 chip. Not class 1, not class 2, not class 0, a class 3 chip, which is a big jump for where they're at right now on their chips. I mean, everyone's always talking about how far ahead China is and everything. China's not even on a class 3 chip yet. I mean,
but they're at least on par with Europe. Yes or no? No, not even.
No. See, this is what I think everybody forgets. Where was China 1995, 30 years ago? Where was China?
Well, they were just coming back into the international scene after having been shut off from the world for 50 years after World War II or something like that.
But third world country, that's where they were, third world country.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true too, probably. Yes, I'd say.
So
they probably still are.
So in the last 10 years, they've really come on. So they're economy's forecast to maybe be 20 trillion. It could be 15, but anywhere from 15 to 20 trillion this year, which puts them strongly in second place. I don't know. It depends on the EU. EU is supposed to have at least eyes are bigger. So right now, eyes can fluctuate between 24 and 41 trillion dollars. That's what our GDP can be. Currently, it's valued according to the market at 32.5 is where we're sitting. Don't ask me why it's such a big swing. I guess it has to do with a lot of that $25 trillion those deals Trump cut earlier this year. I guess as they peel in, those amounts change. I haven't heard anybody cancel any deals yet, John. Everybody seems to be on par. Matter of fact, China is going to buy, what was it, 200 jets? Yeah, 200 Boeing jets. Big ones, I think. Yeah, the big mamas. Yeah, that story is true. You mean about the Qatar jet not fitting in the hangar? That's true. It don't fit. They got to build a special hangar for it. Or actually, they're sending it somewhere where there is a special hangar for it. I don't know why it's bigger than a normal 747. You'd have to ask Qatar, wouldn't you? Because I didn't build the damn thing.
No, it's not Qatar. It's Qatar.
Oh, is it Qatar? Okay, sorry, guys.
Qatar, yeah.
It's well, we don't want to give credit to the wrong people or the wrong jet. I don't want nobody flicking me the bird, man. I'll have to drop a nuke on their head.
Oh, too late. You got two birds just now flicked at.
I have
Goose and a mallard. So you got goosed and mallarded.
I've got access to tactical nuclear weapons up to 15 kilotons. People. Don't be pissing with me. And if that don't scare you, I got access to an alligator farm.
Oh, I thought you liked getting goosed.
Say, I'll feed y'all to the alligators. Everyone, see, I was picking on Jay about feeding to the lobsters, but lobsters leave bone behind. Alligators don't. They crunch that up like it's nothing.
And neither do pigs. Pigs will grind it up too.
Yeah, pigs. Not only pigs grind it, pigs will use it to dig with.
Well, no, but the other thing is the good bonus about pigs is that not only will they grind it up, they'll swallow it and pass it through their intestines. And when that happens, all trace, any possible chance of getting DNA of the original owner of the bones is now lost. So it's one of the cleanest ways to get rid of a body. Just saying.
Yeah. Or just do like the guy in, what was it? The Prince did, throw him in a vat of acid.
Oh, that's a Dahmer.
No, I'm talking about the Prince in Saudi Arabia.
Well, Dahmer did it too.
Yeah, well,
he put them in a 50-gallon
maybe that's
barrel.
where you got the idea.
Yes.
Yeah. Maybe that's where you get the idea from. Yeah, you don't remember? That's why everybody was so mad because we were being all buddies with the Saudis, and he just threw that guy into the. I don't know what he did him. He did him something.
Well, it's exactly what Dahmer did, but Dahmer did it kind of a little bit smarter. He went to he annexed or took classes without credit at either the local community college or the local college, where he would be able to have access to things like hydrochloric acid, and not it looked like because he was a college student. Now it looked like some weirdo just buying hydrochloric acid for no reason. So that's kind of how he. Because he only bought it in like small batches, like you would for as like a science class, but then he would take it home and fill this 5-gallon barrel he had, and then put dead bodies in it. So,
I don't know what that has to do with politics, guys. He went down some rabbit hole there.
No, I mean it's not really much about politics, but certainly safety of the world.
He just went down a rabbit hole. That's all. It happens on this show.
It has to be something I know quite a bit about his origin story.
It's So anyway, she's. Neither one of them looked like they were real, they were just like there. Hi, Mr. President. I know you can kick my ass still.
It seems now that you say that, kind of in retrospect, kind of like the issues that were on the front pages of all the news media wasn't really of any interest to either of the two gentlemen. And they probably, I'm thinking there was some other reason they wanted to talk. And
they don't want to talk about money.
What that is, but I don't think the reasons that they were talking about as the news points this week are what the two men really had their meeting for. I think there was some other reason for it, not what we've heard about.
They're talking
That's just
about,
my opinion.
what she wants, what she really wants, and he's willing to throw everybody else under the bus for it, including the Russians. He would like a strategic alliance with the United States over Europe and everybody else. The two of us versus the rest of the planet. That's what he really wants. And you know what's funny about that is how many effing sci-fi movies have people speaking Chinese and English throughout the whole movie. That whole series were done like that.
Firefly.
Yeah, well, Firefly is definitely one of them. And but there's other TV series like in what's the one that's all famous and Harrison Ford was in it. It was the first they did two of them. The second
Blade
one.
Runner.
Blade Runner. They spoke in Chinese and Blade Runner.
Broken Japanese actually.
Well, but they spoke in several other movies besides those, and it's because
Yeah.
they figure those two languages will be Mandarin and English will be the dominant languages in the future, and they're probably right, unless something happens to Asia.
Well, I mean, I can say this much: in China, the more popular written language is Mandarin. It's easier to read than the other one, Szechuan, I think it is, and but the problem is to learn to read even just the basic newspaper, which, you know, in America is fairly basic reading material. But to learn just the Chinese newspaper, to read it, you have to memorize something on the order of 1 million, one with 6 zeros behind it, million characters. It's more than 26 characters, which is our alphabet. So that's kind of.
Seems like a terrible waste of space.
Yeah, it's terrible waste of memory and space and time.
I mean, if it takes that many more characters to say something you can say in 5 words, that's.
Have you seen their dictionary? Their dictionary makes ours look like a comic book. I'm not kidding you. It's like 5 volumes. That's
because they're descendants of dolphins, man. Oh, not an offended to Asian somewhere. Damn it. It's y'all know y'all were descendants of dolphins. So go back. There's a picture. There's actually a couple of pictures of dolphins turning into humans.
Wait, can't you guys hear that?
What's funny about it is they
you hear it, don't you, Joe?
I heard something. Jay's playing with somebody. I'm just laughing.
It's a bunch of bullshit coming out of my face. Yeah, imagine if we could hear and speak in a supersonic language like the dolphins do. How cool would that be?
Right. They say contactees speak in dolphin, but regardless.
Well, I mean, Cocoon, one of Jeffrey's favorite movies, Jeffrey Pritchett, one of our favorite show hosts.
How can he be a liberal and like Cocoon?
He loves Cocoon, both Cocoon movies, but he loves them because of the glowing alien beings.
Yeah, they may be.
But the glowing alien beings speak to the dolphins. The dolphins help the glowing alien beings in throughout both movies.
Time I said that's a conservative movie.
Well, that's the problem, is that Jeffrey doesn't realize he's actually a middle guy that leans left.
He leans left. Ain't no leaning going on there, man. Jesus.
Well, he does have a TDS. He does have a little TDS problem, but it'll go away once Trump goes out of the limelight. I mean, think about it also. I mean, they said this on the news tonight about Trump, that he's dominated the political arena for 11 years. Well, the fact of the matter is also that he's dominated the news scene for the past 16, not just the 4 years before and the 4 years during and the 4 years after and the 4 years during this. And he's been on the top of the news of every news organization worldwide for going on 20 years nonstop.
He is the most thought about person in the history of the world. Yeah. They figure that one out. Do you know how many people he lives rent free in? At least 4 billion people's brains.
He lives rent free in several, I would say hundreds of thousands, perhaps in the millions, people's brains who hate him vehemently, yet he resides in their brain free of charge and constant.
Think about it. He resides.
Think about that. I mean, those people are going
about this. He
nuts
resides
about
in Obama, Michelle, and Barack's brain, and they both admitted to it. Michelle says it's causing damage to their marriage.
Oh, it's too late. Their marriage is already ruptured. I think their marriage. I think their marriage ruptured at the beginning of the his administration. Probably not the first year, but the second and third year, she was definitely at the point where she can't wait to get out of the limelight. She can't stand being near him, I think, or he, Michael, whatever. I don't, what. I could care. Why are we even thinking about them? They're not even important anymore, are they?
Well, no, I mean
Are they
he may
still
be going to
relevant?
jail for treason, and plus
He
he's
might be
out
going to
there
jail,
every
but
day.
I said that I said
He's
that
out there
he'd be going to
recruiting.
jail
He's
years and years
recruiting.
ago.
Yeah, but he's out there recruiting every day for the Democrats. Jimmy, I mean, he didn't really say anything of any consequence. I mean, oh, let's not get in a fight over Taiwan. And Trump's going like, why? Because we kick your ass. That's why, man. You stay. No, we kick your ass. Shit, we let Japan and the Philippines kick your ass, and we just give them some submarines. It's Speaking of that, Putin was running his mouth in the Middle East the other day, and we rolled up a damn Ohio-class ballistic missile submarine and just popped it up out the water. And said, hey, how y'all doing? You know we never let people know where them fucking subs are. It's they just popped it up, surfaced it up. It's porting somewhere in the Middle East. We got a nuclear capable submarine parked in the Middle East. Somebody's tempting fate. Oh, wait, what happened? Oh, there it is.
I don't know. Heidi says octopus are deaf and not from here. How do you know that they can't hear?
They don't have ears. At least I don't think they have ears. I've never seen ears.
No, she says octopus are definitely not from here. I was just making a joke with what she said.
Well, they're not. I don't think they're from here. But scientists don't think they're from here. They
Well,
they don't.
That's true.
Some people think they came when they was inside of a rock or something when they came in, or inside of a something. You know, because they've been they found them inside of coconuts and stuff on land.
They can fit into all kinds of they can depending on the size of their body. That's like, you know, they can fit into a container that's, you know, 1/8 the size of their body.
I don't know, but I watched
It's an outrageous proportion of they can fit into a smaller container than their body, and then they can also do the same thing. They can expand their body into another container that's larger than their body by like another 8. You know, so they're what they can do is incredible. Huge camouflage. I mean, natural camouflage. Instant color change. If you've ever seen that, that's the baddest thing about them.
Probably sit here to keep an eye on you humans. So yeah, let's go watch
they're
these
probably
humans.
some sort of spy network. Yes.
No,
I think it's the squid that have 8 brains. Is it not?
No, it's the octopus. They actually have 9, not 8. One in each
They have
tentacle.
one inside the balloon and one for each tentacle.
Yeah, one for each tentacle. I guess each tentacle, because it's got all them suckers, needs its own brain. It's like,
Mm-hmm. And each one of those suckers it's got its own opinion as well. So
that's right. That's why sometimes you'll see that little tooth thing come out and go like that. I mean, you know, like that. It's an octopus.
They also, octopus, I do know, also have the largest eye socket of any creature in proportion to its body size of any other creature on this planet. Also hinting at the fact that it came from a much, much darker planet with lower light, therefore needing a larger eyeball to collect more light so you can see.
It could have just been dirty or water.
Well, whatever it is that obscures the light, it required the species to evolve a much larger eye socket than a normal creature of its same proportion would have.
Maybe it was hunting little tiny fishies.
There's another good explanation. They do eat usually like small like shrimp and crustaceans and stuff like that. Yes.
So that just looks like a bullet with an engine in the back. And that's not a Rand scooper.
It's glowing like the nose cones and then the cells of the.
There's no air feed going into this.
Is that an actual picture or it's like a CGI AI thing?
I thought it was supposed to be
looks CGI to me. The lines are too clean.
Let's see.
That looks more realistic.
Well, that's something else. That's an X15.
That's X15. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a whole different.
Yeah, that's just prior to the SR-71. Yes.
Yeah, we don't skip all of that. Yeah,
that's the Aurora right there. Also,
we've talked about this one, the X-43.
Yes.
And see, it's got an intake on it. But the
Well,
other
I'm
one
pretty sure
doesn't.
that all the platforms we're talking about now split off from this Aurora space jet idea concept that you just scrolled past.
Yeah, but the one we do, this one, let me see.
Legacy of the Falcon HTV.
It doesn't seem like it's going to have that type of engine. Like it's got a different type of engine. I know that DARPA and NASA and a bunch of them have been working, including SpaceX, have been working on a lot of different kind of engine types. They want a legit plane that can take off, go to space, go to the moon, fly back, and land, or even go to Mars.
Multi-atmosphere, yes.
That's really, really what they want. Not just, they don't want to have a rocket and all this other bullshit. And so that's what they truly.
Apparently, this thing needs a rocket to get its engine started because it's some sort of scram type device that needs to be going.
No, you know
Mach
what?
2 or 3 to get even started.
So I don't think that's what it is. I agree in the beginning. That's what I thought it was. But since I don't see any intakes,
but this is just a CGI rendering.
It still would have an intake on it. It would still be, because look, you can even see the little box underneath it here. And I've talked about these road engines before. And the only other thing I noted that was that thing that was seen over Stevensville. It didn't have no intakes either.
Well, maybe they're on the top.
No, they're not. There's no intakes because they're going to space. They're not. They're designed for both in and out the atmosphere, and they move outrageous speeds. Remember the ones in Stevensville?
What we're looking at is just a concept drawing. It's not an actual final design. So if there are intakes, they would be on the actual final product.
No, but they have the Stevensville one where they had the chase planes and the eyewitnesses. It's the same plane. There's no intakes on them because it's not designed to just fly in the atmosphere. You don't need intakes in space.
How is it flying in our atmosphere?
Through whatever type of engine it has. So what I'm saying, when they describe this thing, and I've heard this from other descriptions of other jets on other engines. So they say what you see is it's 8 rows, it's 16 rows altogether. The first 8 light up, and they light up in like a orange, and they just start growing red. And then the next set lights up, and they do the same thing. And then as the ones on top start getting red, the ones on the bottom are starting to turn a whitish color, and then the other ones are. When they hit this particular blue color, the thing just leaves. I mean, it just like goes. And when they were clocking them in Pensacola at Mach 12, Mach 14, Mach 16, and they were the same thing, and nobody's talked about any kind of vents on them. And the one in Stevensville, I mean, we know it flew from, because we know who the project in California. So it was in Eastern California. It left Eastern California and it was in Stevensville in under 30 minutes. That's 3 states. I mean, that's getting hauling ass. And it was in the middle of Texas, so that's technically like 4 states. And then it pulsed down, and that's the other weird part. They think it pulsed down because it was, so right outside of Stevensville is a nuclear power plant, a big one. And I think it's a twin tower. But anyway, they said it pulsed down as it got close to that. And then it cruised through Stevensville at cruising speed with the 2 chase planes. And then the guy said, well, a whole bunch of people standing up by the fire said the engines lit up and then poof, it was gone. He said it left the chase planes like they weren't even moving.
Well, even before that, it was the chase planes were still having trouble keeping up with it.
Well, it wasn't with it until it slowed down. That's what they said. They said this thing.
That's what I'm saying. Even while it was slowed down, they were behind it. They weren't able to get in front of it.
No, they were on the side of it. They were flying right alongside. Okay. Yeah, but it's slow. You could tell from the way they said it. It's like slowed down and waited for it. The guy said it was all you could see was this weird orange dot, and then poof, this thing was like over the city, just kind of floating along. And all the engines were this weirdest orange color. It was. He said it just wasn't even any noise. He said every time you heard what might have been a whine. He said, but for the most part, there wasn't any noise. And it just was kind of just pulsing along. But it had to be moving at least. A chase plane's got to be doing at least 125 miles an hour, stay in air. Maybe 100, but so it's got to be moving at least that fast. So that tells me it was way bigger than the original description. Because if it took that long to cross over the whole city with chase planes, then it was pretty big.
Yeah.
It was and the way people describe it, it was from one end of the town to the other end of the town. Towns, a decent sized little towns. I mean, still a little town, but still a decent sized couple of miles. The whole thing was very weird. No, Jeffrey said that's the whole thing. MUFON reported it as an alien type craft, but it's not. It was one of ours. No, we knew for sure. We were in touch with the people at Boeing. So anyway, I have directors for the ICO organization all over the place. But regardless, in this particular case, this was an easy one. This was a friend of mine who works over there. And I called and told her right in the middle of the interview. I actually was playing the audio for her from the live interview we did at Stevensville. And anyhow, she was listening to it. She goes, well, I know what this is. And we got to talking, and she said, is this the one the night where they had the Squadron F-16s out and the thing was going by George Bush's ranch? And I said, yeah, that's the same one. She knew right the hell what it was. She knew what plane it was, what the schedule was. She said nothing happened that wasn't supposed to happen. Everything went according to plan. And she said if you track where it was saw, because it was saw at 2 other places that night, you'll notice everywhere it was saw was a no-fly zone. And she said that's probably why it pulsed down near the reactor, because that was a safe place for it to slow down and cool off, because it's a no-fly zone because of the reactors. So nothing was going to be around there but them. I had never even thought of it like that. I thought maybe the craft would interfere, but now it makes sense. If it had to cool down, that would have been the perfect place. Or if it was going to make a turn or something. So anyway, at least we found out what it was. All she ever called it was an Aurora type craft. She never said
Aurora space jet.
She never said. When I asked her twice, and I said it goes in space, she said, "Yeah, it goes in space," but that's all I can tell you. I was like, okay. And actually, that's only partially true. The one in Stevensville, she said, couldn't go in space, but they did have a version of it that could. She said the one in Stevensville was for atmospheric testing. Apparently high-speed atmospheric testing. But none of these have intake. So I'm assuming maybe a gravity drive, an impulse drive, magnetic drive, something that doesn't need air. And remember, we featured that article, what was it, 2 or 3 shows back, where the thing doesn't need fuel. It draws its fuel from the area around it. So the technologies are growing. Yes, Jesse, this is DARPA, but DARPA now works for Space Command. Yes, so everybody works for Space Command. A plane that can chart the world in an hour is hauling ass.
Yeah, and we thought the SR-71 was fast. I think that when they started launching the 71 on its first test flight from, well, it wasn't all the way from the West Coast, so it would have been from a top secret facility in Nevada to a top secret facility in the Ohio Valley, but roughly the distance Los Angeles to New York was about 2 hours. I think the record now is like an hour and 5 minutes to somewhere an hour and 15 minutes, something like that, is what the SR-71 generally does from LA to New York. 1 hour and 15 minutes to about an hour and 5, in that range. Imagine that. Everyone else is getting on a jet and doing sometimes a 4-hour trip, layover for an hour, new plane, another 3 hours, or you're doing 6 or 7 hours straight. 1 hour in a jet. Imagine.
Yeah, well, that's why
15
people
minutes in
miss
this new scramjet thingy.
That's why people missed that old Concorde jet, man. They got a new one coming out, new type of supersonic passenger jet.
Yeah, it did what, 4 hours to France?
Yeah. Now
like that.
Virgin said for probably in the next decade they're going to be offering a continent to continent travel, which means up out of space. It's like in the kind of just like any intercontinental ballistic missile. You'll be able to make any city on the other side of the planet in under 30 minutes.
You have to have your own pressure suit for that, or what?
No, it's just you get in the plane, you fly up there, you fly down. There ain't no suits involved. There's no nut.
I think I'll pass on that. My ears pop enough just going in a regular
Virgin.
goddamn airplane.
Virgin's already done this. I mean, Virgin's even flown tourists into space already.
Well, if they're not the first to do it, why are they still called Virgin?
Because that's the name of their company, baby. Virgin. And Virgin Airlines does. Virgin everything, actually, with them. What do you mean, Elon? Elon, somebody told me the other day about Elon, and we were talking about chasing for money. Elon's not chasing money. Elon's chasing
I
Mars.
think money just kind of just shows up in his pocket,
Because he's chasing Mars, people. He wants everything he does is so he can take him and his family and go to Mars.
Also chasing immortality,
which is Mars. Mars already.
I don't know about immortality, but definitely elongated life, longer lifespan. I think
you never know. There may be a mineral on Mars that extends human life indefinite. Aliens might have told him it was there, as far as we know. Jocelyn, oh, I know, huh? You never know how any of that works out. No, we actually got to go to break in a second. Just a minute, we're going to go to break. Why? I don't know. They were together for 3 days, and the whole thing is kind of like blah. It's not just us. Go watch any news media anywhere. I don't know. I watched some of our news media turn it into something weird. Yeah, I heard one of them say, "Oh, he talked weird about the Chinese children." I never heard that anywhere.
No, he didn't.
I never heard.
He was amazed at the show that the children put on. That's what he was. How is that weird?
That's what I'm saying. You had a couple. What
would have been weird is if he'd got on TV and said, "Oh, the horrible thing that those little children did. Oh, it was horrible. It was terrible. They were ugh." No, he said that it was amazing what they did. That's not. How is that weird?
So that's true, Jesse, and we'll get into it deeper. But so yeah, the Democrats lost 15 points in the polls. So they went from an 86% chance of taking the midterms, down to 70, I think 73 or something like that. That's it. That's even more than that. It was like 70. It dropped all the way down to 70. And then they added a footnote in there. If gas just drops $1 a gallon, that'll put that mark below 50%.
Wow. And that's the benchmark, huh?
Yeah. So, well, it's because there's been so many Democrats going to jail lately. That's what they were talking about.
Well, and there's more to come, I think.
Yeah. The Minnesota governor, look, Minnesota's one of them states. I don't know what's wrong with Minnesota.
Tim Walz, I think he's definitely going to do it. He's going to go to court, and I think he's going to have his ass handed to him. I think Karen Bass is going to find herself going to court. I think possibility of Governor, what's his name, Newsom.
Yeah, Newsom.
I think he might be going to a court hearing here soon, shortly. Mamdani might. Hochul might. Who else? Schumer, certainly, I think.
Actually, Jimmy, I hate to say this, but it's actually a good thing if Dems take the House back before 2028, because it'll prove to everybody why they voted for fucking Trump in the first place. Yeah, because I'm listening to them. They're talking about exactly the same stuff that pissed everybody off. Yeah, they learned absolutely nothing. I mean, zero.
Yeah. And if they let the Democrats take control of it again, it'll crush any kind of effort for Trump to actually fix the horrible damage done by both Obama and Biden, even though they had split terminalities there.
But Jesse, I wouldn't worry about it too much. We had 6 months before midterms. It'd only take the economy about a month to.
Yeah, I mean they're still spiraling downhill. They're going to do something stupid again, and that 79 is going to go to 59, 49, 29, 0. There's also newer and stronger probes going into the California fraud scandal investigations. So I think as that investigation rolls forward, the Democrats are going to lose more footing and ground in this upcoming midterms. There's a lot of fraud in California.
Yeah, and like I told them, all the polls are based on Trump's polling numbers, not on the GOP's polling numbers. And by the way, Trump got a good bounce today, so his numbers bounced up on a couple of areas.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the only place he's really in trouble with American people is the economy and gas, and the economy keeps getting good numbers. So
And the
economy's not
endless
with
war.
the
They keep
refineries,
calling
it's
it
the fuel
endless war.
price.
We're at a stalemate right now with a ceasefire. The only time that we shoot at Iran is after they have shot at us to a level just below not violating the ceasefire rules. And so how is it an endless war? Vietnam, how long was Vietnam? 15 years, 20 years? How long was the World War II? 9 years, 11 years for most countries?
It
4
was
months we're into this thing, and it's the endless goddamn war. Shut up, people. It's not it's not even a war going on. It's barely a police action. And right now, the police action is on fucking hold.
Yeah, it's on pause, people.
On goddamn pause.
We've never had a war that we've actually put on pause before. It's kind of like,
right.
I said, we've just put the war. I was telling to a friend of mine.
Not only is it on pause, but it's been broadcast, pretty much, bullet for bullet from start to finish so far.
Yeah, I mean,
start to pause. We've seen the whole thing live on national television. It's the first war we've seen it. The entire, almost all of the non-secret stuff happened at once.
Yeah, it's oh, Jimmy,
it's nuts. It's absolutely fucking nuts.
It is. All right, let's see
what you got here.
We're gonna find out in a bloody.
Is it weather?
We're gonna bloody find out here.
And it is another sign of a resilient Trump economy. Look at that market. Retail sales number came in today. It was up 0.5% in April, and it was good news for the American retail sales. And the Dow is right now up past that
Dow Jones
1,000 mark as the U.S. stock market is hitting all-time highs, S&P and NASDAQ. Crude oil prices up just a little bit, above $101 a barrel. And it is another sign of a resilient Trump economy. Look at that.
So the job report came in day before yesterday. It was good. The economy
it's been getting better, yes.
The inflation still, though, is around 3.4, which isn't horrible, but it's not great.
I mean, what was inflation under Obama?
Oh God, under Obama it was around 5%.
Under
Biden it was 9%.
Democrats are doing it illegally, and that's why we just saw the Virginia Supreme Court knock it back down. The GOP is going about it constitutionally. They know.
Shut up, Chick. I just put
the difference between.
Damn, sorry.
Emily, quiet, please.
I mean, I was trying to put on a push and shut up. Okay, let's see. So this must be gerrymandering, is what this is?
Democrats and Republicans in redistricting is that Democrats are doing it illegally. And that's why we just saw the Virginia Supreme Court knock it back down. The GOP is going about it constitutionally. They know the law. That's why every court decision is handing them a victory. And respectfully, I don't think Trump started this. This was started by the Dems. Remember, 14 years ago, they had an issue with the census because they were freaking out that, oh no, the horrors of opening your door to a census taker would somehow put illegals under the gun, proverbially, which would mean that they would have less votes that they assumed was in their can. I totally agree with you, Jillian. It's the sore losers. Remember what we saw in Spain recently when Walls and a bunch of leaders went over there. They said, how are we going to fight back? How are we going to get back those votes? They never talked about earning the votes. They never talked about, oh, maybe it's our policies. Maybe it's our ideology that have totally expelled everyone from our party. They had no idea. It's not about fighting the Republicans or resisting the Republicans. It's about attracting voters. And I think Hakeem Jeffries, he reminded me of Ursula in The Little Mermaid, or the witch in Into the Woods, like, I'm going to crush their souls. It's the same tired playbook. We're going to expand the Supreme Court. We're going to neutralize red states. We're going to grant new statehoods to DC. We're going to abolish the Electoral College. They can't ever win on the merits. And so all they want to do is change the rules. The difference between Democrats and Republicans in redistricting is that Democrats are doing it illegally. And that's why we just.
Yeah. So, okay. So here's what happened in Virginia. And I forget what they're calling the governor.
And how
she ran on a
Black
false
Americans
moderate
really
ticket,
created
but they're calling her like governor
really
moderate or
created
whatever.
democracy.
Oh yeah, pause that for a second. So she basically held an overnight session of the Virginia government to rewrite the Virginia Constitution, making it legal for them to rewrite the district lines and make a more favorable party map for them. As it stands right now, the Virginia map is 5 districts Republican, 6 districts Democrat. So I don't see what their problem is, how that's an unfair map. But they wanted to make it one district Republican and the rest Democratic. But the Virginia Constitution specifically states that you cannot change the Constitution in order to redistrict the map. And therefore, the Virginia Supreme Court kiboshed the entire thing, and then the governor appealed it, and then they kiboshed it again. So they are all crying butthurt in Virginia because they lost their illegal attempt to take over the entire eastern seaboard with red states.
But because of them in California is why the Supreme Court said, okay, no more of this. No more making, no more race in anything. Louisiana, you're not going to have areas based on race. Just based on your voters, nothing else. Don't matter what color they are.
No matter what color you are. It shouldn't even be, when you register to vote, it shouldn't even ask you what your race is, period. It should ask you what your party affiliation is. If you have one, left, right, black, forward, whatever, you know, that's it. So what is this guy going to tell us?
Black Americans really created democracy in this country.
Right. That's exactly right.
How they literally made something from nothing.
This woman really just said Black Americans created democracy in this country.
Yeah, she just said Black Americans created democracy in this country.
Yeah, she
is really is a leader in the Democratic Party. These are the type of intellectuals in the Democratic Party. And you got the girl, whoever the other girl was talking about. So yeah, that's right. That's right. No, that is not right. That is anything but right. These people are ignorant and delusional. And then they hype each other up while in the act of being ignorant and delusional. The founding fathers are what brought democracy to this country. And they weren't Black. Like, she's literally out here rewriting history. And again, this woman is over there like, yeah, that's right. That's right. That's what's so crazy to me. The United States is a constitutional republic, which is arguably a form of democracy. It's representative democracy. Now, I'm not trying to downplay the contribution that African Americans have made to the United States, because African Americans have made significant contributions to this country. But to sit here and come and say we were the founders of democracy in this country that's crazy talk. We were not creators of this country's democratic framework.
By immigrants.
That's just the reality. Like, I don't know. Like, that's when they just rewrite history. That's what's so crazy to me. AOC is not an intellectual. She is anything but an intellectual. But again, guys, these are the type of people that Democrats want to put in power. It is crazy to me to watch this. I know I've been saying that a lot, but it's just wild that she came out and said this with a straight face. And then the other girl's like, yeah, girl, that's right. Crazy. That's all I got for now. Don't forget, I have a free email newsletter.
We're glad you got a free email.
Well, he's got some pretty good points there. You know, in the same token, what was it? Ilhan Omar
was it racist of me to
recently said World War XI. How can you be so goddamn ignorant that you call World War II, Roman numeral II, which stands for the number 2
because
in
where
English
she
numbers? How could you call that 11? I mean, she's a complete moron as
yes,
well. Why are these people
Greeks
even in their offices still?
The Roman Empire never made it to the Middle East. But I know better than that, Jack, but still. What's this one? No, it's a
racist of me to be pretty sure that the virus came from a lab.
Code China virus.
China virus.
Like Trump. It is from China. It is from the lab.
From China.
China. And it's not by accident. Nothing is accidental in China.
Like, was it racist of me to be pretty sure that the virus came from a lab?
Code China virus. Like Trump. It is from China. It is from the lab.
From China.
China. And it's not by accident. Nothing.
It's funny.
What we got here?
President Trump continues to criticize European nations for not helping in the war against Iran. One reason is because they don't have the money to support long-term military operations. A major goal behind forming the EU more than 30 years ago was to make people wealthier. Well, as Dale Hurd reports from Frankfurt, Germany, something went seriously wrong along the way.
1 in 5 Germans now face the risk of imminent poverty.
in what has long been one of the world's wealthiest nations. This video is a tour of Germany's slums. In France, the poverty rate has hit a 30-year high. While every nation has poor people, the standard of living in Europe has been falling behind America's for almost 20 years. Europeans are becoming poorer, and some believe it could someday spark a revolution. The European Union's economy has been stagnant for so long that the poorest state in the U.S., Mississippi, now has a higher GDP than any nation in the EU except Germany. And Mississippi looks to be on track to surpass Germany. Europe has been stifling economic growth with heavy-handed environmental policies, a self-made energy crisis, a crippling tax burden, a bloated welfare state, and regulations that make it hard for businesses to compete globally. In short, while American industry innovates, Europeans regulate.
The EU is like a vacuum cleaner sucking up more and more powers, concentrating more influence and more authority to Brussels. And it cannot stop itself.
Economist Sven Larsson lived in Sweden before moving to the United States.
They have a welfare state that consumes close to half, or in some countries more than half, of the economy. And that means that they essentially take free market economy, run it through government instead, which means that they depress economic activity. They don't get nearly as much out of it.
Half of the EU nations surveyed by the official EU Statistics Bureau had growth last year of less than 1%, while the US has been growing between 2.5% and 3%. European leaders have now begun to panic after reports the continent is deindustrializing. This includes Germany, once one of the world's industrial powerhouses. Germany scuttled its nuclear industry right when energy costs began to soar, in what the Wall Street Journal called the world's dumbest energy policy. Germany used to rely on cheap Russian energy, no more. When President Trump, in a 2018 UN speech, warned Germany about becoming dependent on Russian energy, the German delegation could be seen laughing. The Germans aren't laughing anymore. This German banking and finance expert told us he's had enough of life in Germany and is moving his family to Spain. Chris Consultant, as he's known on YouTube, says Spain has problems too, but it's a better life overall than in Germany.
Is that it?
Yeah, I just cut it off. It's a little long for what we're doing.
Okay.
But, wait, we gotta hear some John Wayne, people.
John Wayne.
Tomorrow, remember,
John Wayne?
this is my country and I'm going to do good for it. Just might work. We'll never know unless we give it a fair try. Oh, yeah, and there's one other thing I'll say tomorrow because I say it every day of my life. God bless America. Tomorrow, remember, this is my country and I'm going to do good for it. Just might work. We'll never know unless we give it a fair try.
That's right, Johnny boy. You tell. Hey, I like this guy, man.
Oh, there won't be any black Republican members in the new term. What do you make of that?
Nothing. I don't understand how that's relevant. I'm not here because I'm black. I am here because I'm qualified representative for Congressional District 38, and the American people choose who they want to choose. And the one thing I don't want to get into is this game of race bait all day, every day. If there's 4, if there's 10, if there's none, what we are talking about is who is the best person that is best qualified to fill a seat, regardless of the way that they look. And I tell people this all the time till I am blue in the face. I represent a white majority district that President Trump would have won by over 20 points, and I won by 25 points the last time I ran. I'm being judged not by the color of my skin, but by the content of my character. I don't care how many black people are here. I want the most qualified people that are here.
Oh, there won't be any black Republican members in the new term. What do you make of that?
He ain't playing around with him, people.
No, he ain't playing around.
Oh, wait, here comes Sean's girlfriend.
Oh, cry baby got keen.
Oh, man, here we go. Uh-oh, what's all of this?
It opened up in another window.
Yeah, hold on. Jeffy's. Let me find you. I got to get back here. Oh, no, it's up there on the screen. Okay.
There we go. Yeah, but the pop-up isn't.
Where the hell did it go? No, that's it right there. Let me see. Oh, it popped up again. Okay.
There, nope.
Fuck
Nothing.
around and find out. Okay, now we go back, put it up there.
FAFO.
Jeffrey's O. Jeffrey's got a cracker. Yeah, cracker, like a cracker man, like a redneck cracker dude. You don't know what a redneck cracker is? I don't know what to tell you. Ignorant. Be ignorant. Okay. Oh, this is an ignorant SOB here, though.
Oh God, yes. He's a crybaby.
If they go down the road of a DeSantis dummy mander, the Florida Republicans are going to find themselves in the same situation as Texas Republicans, who are on the run right now. And the Florida Republicans is F around and find out. If they go down the road of a DeSantis dummy mander, the Florida Republicans
it's sad about this. 3 days later, he had to retract this, right? Because Virginia lost their votes.
Who are right now.
And Texas got theirs.
Crybaby Hakeem.
Oh, Jackie, he
is such a sore loser. It's not even funny.
What's this one? Liberals. Okay, can we see that on the screen?
Well, are we not going? I guess we're not going to a break. I guess then.
Not yet. 10 minutes. So I said the bottom of the hour.
Oh, bottom. Okay, yeah, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, okay. It's I didn't think you heard me. So, share streaming. Okay. No, we're gonna take a bottom of. Well, we'll play fuck the woke, but not whenever we get around to it. Yeah, we got plenty of time. So this is for our liberal friends out there. Hold on, let me share this. I always like to share things with my liberal friends. There you go. Look at that, how pretty that is. It's amazing. Everything that the Democrats want to do is illegal. They can't win anymore without cheating. I mean, at all.
We must talk about Canada because something crazy is happening over there.
Who's talking now? Canada guys.
You're about to break apart, and this is not a fantasy. It is something that real Canadian politicians are openly preparing for right. We must Canada because something crazy is happening over there.
Create a new country.
Canada might be about to break apart, and this is not a fantasy. It is something that real Canadian politicians are openly preparing for right now. One of the most peaceful countries on earth is quietly heading toward a breakup that almost no one outside its borders is paying attention to. Two of its largest provinces are openly preparing to leave. Separatist leaders have already met with officials from the Trump administration. Polls are climbing, referendums are being scheduled, and the country that the world thinks of as polite, stable, and predictable could look completely different by the end of this decade. The story begins in Quebec, the only French-speaking region left in North America. Back in 1995, Quebec held a referendum to leave Canada, and the result was so close it stunned the world. The vote was decided by fewer than 60,000 people. Independence was lost by less than 1 percentage point. For nearly 30 years, that wound has stayed open. Today, about 1 in 3 people in Quebec say they would still vote to leave. The political ground has shifted too. The party currently in power has collapsed in the polls, dropping from 45% support to just 15%. The party rising to take their place has one big promise to its voters: hold another vote on independence. If Quebec leaves Canada, around 25% of the country's population disappears overnight. The Atlantic side of the country gets cut off. Trade routes, supply chains, and even Canada's currency could face immediate disruption. But the bigger story is happening in the West, in a province called Alberta. And before we go further, you need to understand just how important Alberta is to Canada. Alberta is Canada's wallet. It sits on top of the 3rd largest oil reserves on Earth, behind only Saudi Arabia and Venezuela. Alberta produces around 80% of all the oil Canada exports, which makes it the single most important source of Canadian energy wealth. Alberta also pays more money to the Canadian government per person than any other province in the country, and that money is then shared with poorer provinces to keep the rest of Canada running. In simple words, if Alberta leaves, Canada loses its oil, its biggest taxpayer, and its economic engine all in a single moment. So why is this oil-rich province turning against its own country? The answer is simple.
Because they suck.
Albertans feel like they have been giving more than they get for decades. Whenever Alberta tries to build a pipeline to send its oil to new markets, other provinces block it. An attempt to construct a pipeline through British Columbia gets blocked. A pipeline through Quebec gets blocked. And the result is that Alberta has been forced to sell almost all of its oil to one buyer, the United States, and often at prices far below the global markets. When oil prices crashed in the 1980s and again in the mid-2010s, thousands of Albertans lost their jobs. Home prices dropped across the province. And every time it happened, people in Alberta felt that federal policies in Ottawa made the pain worse. Now, in 2026,
why should we pay them for
separatist
oil? We can
leaders in
diagonally
Alberta
siphon
have
out from underneath
reportedly
them.
met with officials from the Trump administration to discuss something extraordinary, a $500 billion line of credit ready and waiting if Alberta decides to leave Canada. Signature collection for a referendum has already begun. Most people assume a province cannot just leave a country. In Canada, that is not true. After the 1995 Quebec scare, Canadian lawmakers passed something called the Clarity Act in 2000. The law is simple. If any province votes clearly in favour of leaving, the federal government is legally required to sit down and negotiate the breakup. The legal path out of Canada already exists. All it takes is one successful vote. And right now, 2 provinces are loading the gun at the same time. When one province wants to leave, you can call it a temporary mood. When 2 completely different provinces, in 2 completely different cultures, on 2 opposite ends of the country, want to leave at the same time, something deeper is breaking. Canada was built on a careful balance. Each province was given strong independence in exchange for staying inside the country. That deal held for over 150 years, but trust in the central government has been falling, economies have been pulling apart, and identities have been hardening. The old glue that held Canada together is finally drying right now.
Canada, we don't have to. Oh, wait. Somebody's girlfriend's on the screen.
You dumb as AOC, no way, not me.
I think that
AOC, she can't explain it. She overcomplicated. When asked where Venezuela is, the map rotates. She sounds like Kamala word salad part 2. We don't understand Bad Bunny. We don't understand you. You dumb as AOC, no way, not me. You dumb as AOC, no way, not me.
I think that
AOC, she can't explain it.
Too dumb as AOC.
Oh God, tampon.
What is a woman?
What is a woman?
What is a woman is the question.
I'm not sure I understand the question here.
What is a woman? Have you learned that lesson? Do you know what a woman is?
I'm the governor of Minnesota, Congressman.
You know what a
I'm not
woman
here
is?
to be your prop for your obsession.
So
I
if you
taught middle
can't
school your
define what a
obsession.
woman is, you certainly can't define what fraud is. What is a woman? What is a woman is the question.
I'm not sure I understand the question here.
Don't understand the question here. What a moron.
Super
Testic oil.
What kind of wizardry is this? How can they walk amongst the lightning of Thor and not be harmed? Oh yeah, I must find out. That's the treasury. What kind of...
Yeah, shit's dangerous, buddy.
Some badass stuff.
Hey, who's this?
Trump said, we're done. We're not doing it anymore. And troop withdrawal from Europe officially began as of just days ago. And that is when these European leaders started to freak out, because they know that if Trump does indeed pull troops out of Germany, Italy, and Spain,
they already have.
Their economies, which are already rather weak, their brittle economies are going to get hit hard. Again, take Germany, for example. They host nearly 40,000 U.S. military personnel, and U.S. bases their function as some of the most powerful economic engines in the entire country, especially in rural communities built around installations like Ramstein airbase. Research on prior U.S. troop withdrawals from Germany found that for every soldier pulled out, the local economy loses 0.53 full-time
Everyone
jobs,
knows US
and
soldiers
municipal
don't pull
tax
out.
revenues drop by nearly 30 cents for every dollar of lost military spending. That's an economic gut punch that Germany simply can't afford right now. If you don't know, real German GDP in 2024 was like the same level it was before COVID. That means they've had zero economic growth in the past 4 to 5 years. Zero. Trump said, we're done. We're not doing it anymore. And troop withdrawal from Europe officially began as of just days ago.
Trump loves us all and wants to have our babies.
Well, I mean, he's not entirely correct, but he's not entirely.
And some NATO alliance officials think Europe may.
Our troops being pulled out of any kind of bases in Germany or Europe in general should not collapse their economies, and if they do, well, that's on them for having relied on us for driving their economy as guests of their country to protect it from Russia.
Yes, well, some of them it'll do damage to the economy. It just depends where the base is. Ramstein will hurt because it's a rural base.
It's a big area.
And it's a big base too. What do we got here? Let's see.
May have made a huge mistake denying the Trump administration use of its air bases. When America's Max Herman has more.
President Trump's anger with European-based restrictions exposes a deepening rift within NATO. A Friday Financial Times report cited NATO alliance diplomats who believe the EU may have made a critical mistake in their refusal to cooperate in Operation Epic Fury. They said previous attacks on NATO have received a unified response from European nations, but the war in Iran has divided them. While some countries, including France, Spain, and others, have partially or fully refused America access to bases in their borders, many other nations worry it was a step too far and undermines their efforts to convince the U.S. to keep troops stationed on the continent.
I sensed his disappointment about the fact that he felt that too many allies were not with him. And I explained to him yesterday, I said, hey, Mr. President, clearly the overwhelming majority of Europeans have done what the U.S. asked of him and what was previously agreed in these circumstances.
One senior diplomat called the policy, quote, a complete own goal without question, noting they are supposed to be U.S. military bases for the U.S. military to use. And it only took some countries refusing America access to them to raise serious questions about one of the primary arguments in favor of America's involvement in the alliance. In the past, when President Trump has expressed skepticism of NATO, European allies have used two arguments to convince him not to withdraw. First, while Europeans have historically underpaid in the alliance, they have stepped up their financial commitments and expressed desire to meet the bar Trump set. The second is that an American military presence in Europe allows the U.S. to project its power across the world. However, now that the U.S. is being denied access to bases it's supposed to jointly operate, that second argument has become considerably weaker. The cost of this could be enormous, said one NATO diplomat, adding that even U.S. officials who had believed in the value of NATO are beginning to question why they're supporting the alliance. Max Herman, One America News.
What American News?
And some NATO alliance officials think Europe.
Yeah, a lot of people think they made it. Oh, wait, we got to do this before we go to break.
If we are ever going to get back to the old America, that's got to be the Democrats' part of the bargain. Stop
old
coming
America?
up
What's changed
with
about
radically
America?
new and often terrible ideas, and then in the next breath insist there be no debate about any of it. That if you don't see it right away and go along, you're bad, stupid, and deplorable. As if you were saying, duh, 2 + 2 = 5. Isn't that obvious? Yeah, it's obvious you can't add. You can't just say shit. Math is racist. Queers for Palestine. Looting is cool. Healthy at any weight. If the men's football team played the women's team, it would be a tie. You can't just say shit. If we are ever going to get back to the old America, that's got to.
Anyway, oh, wait. Damn it.
Trump's remaking the United States of America. We can start there with tariffs. What are we talking about? No tacos for Trump. The effective tariff rate, get this, 18%. It is the highest, Omar, the highest since the 1930s, up from, get this, just 2% last year. As I'm going to talk about in this segment, I can't think of a more influential president during this century, and it starts here with tariffs. He said he was going to raise tariffs, and despite the claims otherwise, he is in fact doing that. The effective tariff rate at this point looks to be 9 times as high as it was last year, the highest since the 1930s in FDR, Omar.
And the effective tariff rate is up from 2% last year, for those that might see the banner there. Tariffs, though, aren't the only way Trump's remaking policy in America, right?
It is not the only way that Trump is remaking America.
No, he's doing all kind of wonderful other stuff. What is this? Okay, is there something in here we're supposed to say? What's in here?
I missed it. Did I miss it? What did we miss?
I don't know. Whoa, there it is.
This is your backyard.
It's my front yard, actually.
That's your front yard?
That's my front yard, yeah.
Why does it look like a golf course?
It's just because it's a big ass front yard. It's
it looks like the ninth hole or something, man.
Right now it's full of water. But wait, there's a UFO pops up in this thing. It's up in here somewhere. There it is, right there.
There we go. Hello.
That's it right there. Don't know what the hell it is. Triggered the camera though. It's
why would something that far away trigger a motion camera in your house?
I don't know. It's on my porch too. It's on the upper porch. See, because this thing works in sections. Is
it a doorbell camera?
Yes, a doorbell camera.
Oh, you send that into Ring, you get some 10,000 money for that.
But boom.
And there's the other UFO, that big orange globe. What the hell is that?
Yeah, I know. Huh? There's another one of these where you see something right here on my porch, and then
there's also one to the left. I thought I saw, and when it goes dark, there's one right to the left.
Yes,
right? So let it keep going. I think there's another one too, Joe. Right there, there it is. See it?
Right there. That might be a car. That is a road right there.
No, well, see, I don't know the terrain, so
yeah, it might be. It's hard to say. Yeah, let's see. Who is this? Who the hell?
Crybaby Hakeem again. And it looks like Crybaby Hakeem's sister.
Something scary. Joe Rogan. Yeah. Joe Rogan. You're going to jail, Comey. Yeah, I know. Huh? Ain't that a bitch? I don't know how they treat FBI.
Joe Rogan kind of strikes me as sort of the dumb jock you don't expect to be educated, or at least, of politics and that kind of stuff.
People of China want to replace him with Trump. Oh shit!
Isn't he like the Trump version anyway? I mean,
I guess
kind of looks like Trump in a Chinese version.
I guess in a way he is. But anyway, we got to go to break. Jay's gonna give y'all some music and some promos. I'm going to get a drink. Yes, and let me get this off of our screen so y'all don't have to watch it. No, I'll be back on camera when I get back. When we got stuff on the screen, we turn the cameras off. Well, we don't want you to, watch us instead of what's on the screen.
Because sometimes we have to get in close because on our screens they're smaller, so we have to dig deep to look at the details sometimes. Yeah, you don't want to look up our nostrils, do you?
Yeah. So what is with them two? No, we got a bunch of stuff when we get back. Yeah, we still got a bunch of news to go through. Yeah. I'll pull them up when we get back to the different stories. Well, we started out with the DARPA plane because it does Mach 20. It's been around since when? 2012 or
2009, I thought it said. I have it up. I'll look at it when we're at break.
People, Mach 20. The only thing that did Mach 20 was the shuttle and reentry. And it could get as high as Mach 30.
2003.
2003, people. 23 years. We've had and how did we get behind with the Russians and Chinese and hypersonic missiles when we had a fucking plane that could do Mach 20?
No.
Anyway, Jay's
Are we ready?
Take us out.
Here we go.
500 miles. Gotta get a drink. All right, I did go get a drink. Come on.
It didn't work. Damn it! I got to go to the screen. Hang on.
losing my control. Your light is gone, and lonely darkness fill my soul. I wish that you could save me from my isolation. It's way too complicated. Let's stop this conversation. Let's stop this conversation. We got no relation.
Hi, and welcome everyone to Ethereal Encounters Unveiled. Today we are broadcasting live on the United Public Radio Network and the UFO Paranormal Radio Network, 105.3 on the Gulf Coast and 107.7 FM in beautiful New Orleans.
Hello. Hello. Hello.
And we're back.
Hello, back people. How are y'all today?
Even though you're seeing our fronts when we cameras come back, we are back. We are front. We are back. Front, back, front, and back.
Front and back or something, anyway.
Détente, Middle East. What's next?
I don't know, but I was talking to a friend of mine about this a couple of days ago. So it's been kind of a slow, boring news week. I said, you'd think we got Xi Jinping going on and Iran going on and the UK going on, the Ukraine going on.
And it's still kind of slow. I mean, yeah.
And how can it be slow with all that shit going on? We seized a tanker. We sank a tanker. We stopped 9. We let 9. I mean, but it's just repetitive horse crap.
And also, allegedly, Iran has seized, 3 machines? 3 oil tankers or 3 cargo tankers. I wasn't quite sure. I heard a quick blip about that today.
And I don't even know what they see. Yeah, no, I heard they seized 1. And I don't even know if they actually
like 3
seized it. I heard we seized 9.
Yes, but they seized, I think, 3 was what the number I heard.
But if I remember the story correctly, what it actually was is Iran allowed 9 tankers to go through the strait, and we stopped at 9 tankers.
At
least that's how
yes, also on top of
that's
that.
How Zahara,
Trump alleged that they couldn't verify that rumor.
Well, no, this wasn't about any tolls or anything. This is Iran just let these ships through. I think some of these were for some people in the Middle East and for China. And the United States stopped the other ones because they thought it was weaponry for Iran. So they stopped it. And I think some of them were under sanctions for other stuff. See, that's the other problem going on in the Middle East right now. And just since we got boats everywhere, there's a lot of sanctions on a lot of different things. Now that we're actively moving around, we're picking up on sanctions from other things, not just from this war. You know, that's that stuff that went on in the Indian Ocean. That wasn't really a deal with this war. Thinking that destroyer that had to do with the war, but
I think they also alleged too that there were certain sanctions that hadn't been enforced in administrations in the past, and that therefore we were also doing that, reinforcing previous sanctions that had not been enforced.
But some of these sanctions are on Russian ships and Chinese boats and other stuff, and there was some tanker seized from China while Trump was in China. That something to do with where they come from. It's illegal. Somehow they're getting the oil. Anyway, it's illegal. They took the ship, so it didn't really matter. At the rate we're seizing tankers, we ought to have a fucking stockpile of them bitches in the Gulf right now. It's like we're starting our own fleet. Our own government fleet, I guess I should say. What you cracking yourself up about? No crack allowed on this show, young lady. No, we don't put up.
No. She's already, I think, had way too much Mother Nature as it is. She wasn't aware that the music was coming from our show through her phone. She thought she was losing it. Where's that music coming from? Anybody hear that in their head too?
So I mean, like we were talking about earlier in the show, if China and Russia came out with that okay, we're just going to divvy the world up. If we're just going to divvy the world up, kind of attitude like you see in Blade Runner or something like that, that's different. That means we can still be a united planet in a way and move around and do our stuff as long as these two governments can not have a problem with each other. And it looks like they might be able to work that out. At least Trump probably can, because she's probably scared of Trump. Now you get somebody like Joe Biden in there, Barack Obama, the whole deal's going to change. Nah, Brian, we're still paying for Barack Obama. He's the one that gave Iran all this freaking money to build this nuclear shit and supply all of these terrorists. Every weapon used to kill them people in Israel was supplied by by the money the United States supplied to Iran, who supplied it to Hezbollah. It's Doomsday J's fault. Yeah.
Oh, and if we're invoking the Doomsday J, then we got to.
And that's why Europe straightened out today, because I said I called Ruti and said, "Look, dude, do not make."
This is what we're going to send.
I told him no. I wrote to Ruti and said, "Look," I said, "Well, I actually called him. I said, look, dude, don't make me send Doomsday J. You're going to regret it." Well, no, and I told him I was going to send Sean as the Mad Irishman as backup. Yes. If you don't know who the Mad Irishman is, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. You've not been listening to this show for very long.
You clearly have not seen this show and seen me and Joe go at it.
Well, no, I told him I was going to send Sean as backup.
Yeah.
Which, I could probably get myself invited to the White. So originally the station was contacted when Trump and them did this outreach to podcasts and stuff. They actually contracted Decentralist. And then I wrote them back and I told them about the station and news on Flipside, and they were interested. But you got to fly out to DC. You got to hang out. You got to stay at the hotels. You got to be on their call. It's a lot of money. Don't get me wrong; it would probably be worth the interviews, but it's a lot of money. Well, I mean, we could use a couple of new computers right now. We could definitely use some RAM for this computer. Yeah, all that shit costs money. And you haven't noticed in the name of our network, it says United Public Radio, which means we don't charge for a whole lot of stuff. Yeah. Just what we have to so we can offer certain services. Like the new TV. Oh, yeah, the new TV stuff's coming out at the end of the month. People, y'all going to love all of this new stuff. Yeah, it requires that Doomsday J has to wear a Speedo on Saturdays. Yeah. Him and Sean have to wear a Speedo.
Well, that's what the Speedo looks like. Look at the background picture. That's what I'll be wearing next Saturday.
No. Just the Speedo, buddy. None of this other crap. Just the Speedo. Yeah, see how he is, man? You gotta watch him all the time. Heidi said she'll send $20. Get the bid and rolling, huh? Well, no, if it only starts with a Speedo, it's only one piece of clothes. So, I mean, you can't really bid on taking clothes off because there's only one piece. Oh, you mean like layered ones? Oh, we're not going there. Yeah. Pink and green and yellow and white and stuff. No, we're definitely not going there. Christopher, you don't know what a Speedo is? A thong, basically. Yeah.
No, they're not thongs. They're racing. They're swim team racing suits for swimming in a pool.
Thongs, man, they're guy thongs. Oh, what? I'm sorry, I'll behave. Oh shit! Don't make me laugh. Makes my nose hurt. Oh fuck. It's the end of the world as we know it. Yes. Well, no, the Europeans fucked themselves. It's not us. I mean, look, all we wanted to do was go blow the fuck up out of Iran. But by the way, this is nothing that really burns my ass. So Iran goes, well, Rubio, don't give us any shit, dude, because in 8 weeks we'll have 11 nukes. Okay. So when the fucking country tells you we're going to have 11 nukes, what are you supposed to say? Oh, well, we're so happy you're going to have 11 nukes. Who is it that you're going to use these on? Well, we're going to use at least 2 of them on Israel. They got to go. Saudi's been sucking y'all's dick, so they got to go. The Vatican's got to go. A couple of Turkey's got to go. Egypt's probably got to go. A few others. So they'll, out of their 11 nukes, they'll use about 8 of them to start World War III. Well, no, because after that little incident, the United States will turn the whole entire fucking Middle East into a glowing green glass parking lot. Oh, yeah, but he would melt the whole fucking place just whoosh, with about 40, 50 kiloton nukes. Just whoosh. Nothing but a big glowing green spot. Matter of fact, when the sun comes over to create so much energy, that's the only place we'll have to have energy from forever. And it won't be a big sore spot on the planet's ass anymore. It'll have been lands. The Middle East is supposed to be where life started, civilization started, and it's been a sore spot on the planet's ass ever since. We're in the New World. The New World is more civilized. I know it pisses you Europeans off when I say that, but it's true. Look at it this way, Europeans. You motherfuckers have had 3,000 years. 3,000 years to get some kind of remnants of civilization going on and peace. And in all that fucking time, it took until an offshoot moved to the New World and said, you know what? This is enough of this fucking bullshit. Yes. No, America should have been a lot more hardline after World War II. The world would be a much better place today if it was.
And also hardline after, the Tehran terrorist takeover of our embassy in 1979. If we were a lot more hard at it then, we won't be going through what we're going through now.
Jimmy, we should have just kept the acquired territories after World War II, cut a deal with China and say, look, we just need to be as a together thing. I don't think that China would have been that big of a fight. And if they would have, we would have took them easily. But Japan had already kicked their ass pretty bad. Yeah, I mean they were defeated. Well, China's got other kind of problems. when you got a population of 1.45 billion people to feed every day, any real disruption instantly starts causing problems instantly. So if you cut off the chain of food and fuel to China just for 5 days, you've got a major problem.
Yeah.
You've got people starving by the billions or by the millions.
Yeah, and I would not be surprised that within those 4 or 5 days, even before it gets to the point of 4 or 5 days, that they wouldn't have already launched some sort of offensive maneuvers in order to keep from going to that point of starvation.
Well, you see, the problem for them is, and I didn't realize this till just the other day. So there's only 2 places they get their stuff from. Both of them can be choked off. The Strait of Hormuz can easily be shut down with just a couple of missiles, and so can the other strait where they come through at. And China's effectively cut off.
They've also been saying not only is it this place, the Strait of Hormuz, but there are other similar situations across the globe that if Iran's, right now, I guess you could call them sort of successful, even though they're only holding us back. I mean, the weapons we have on theater essentially can turn their country into a incinerated wasteland, and that's not a boast. That's for real. The amount of weaponry that is on theater right now could turn the entire square footage, every city and every suburb of every city, into a burnt-out wasteland within days. They don't realize this. But there are other situations where other countries, if they have, as long of a border, like what is the border on the Hormuz Strait for Iran? It's like 1,000 miles long, maybe more, something like that. So other countries that have this situation, they can do the same thing. If they think that this is a successful venture for Iran, they could close off their channels and trade routes that other countries rely on, and also cause such a hubbub. So. You are muted, sire.
Yes, I had it muted because we had some other noise going on.
You had a Chihuahua show up?
Yeah, it's
Which one, or did both of them get there?
No, one of them's the other one's sleeping. One of them's in here bugging me, and the other one's sleeping. See, but no, what I was talking about is China only has two routes where it gets its stuff from. They were talking about the other route last night. That's one of the ones that's got all those sanctions on it. So not only is it's got other problems with people getting in and out, but it also has sanctions. But all of these can just, a couple of ships sunk in the right places cuts them off. Then the only way they'll be able to get fuel is from over the land through Russia, which is easily bombed.
Or even some country that has the idea, like what Iran has been doing, and they mine their area, they mine their straits, or they patrol it with larger boats and capture and or sink commercial vessels in an effort to A, close up the port, and B, take it hostage. I mean, it's essentially what Iran has done.
I don't really know if
Iran's
Iran's doing anything
hostage.
I don't think Iran's actually doing anything. I was thinking about this yesterday. So we've got several ships that I know in the canal right now, all of which can easily take out any little fast boats.
They're calling them mosquitoes now. The fast
yeah,
boats.
Regardless what it is, they can easily take those. Those are not a big deal. They're not even armored. So I mean, you can just use a regular Gatling gun.
No, they're not. They're commercial. They're not even commercial. They're most of them look like the kind of commercial recreational boats that you'd buy to work on. To have a weekend.
I'm sure they've got like a light. I'm sure they got a light armor on them and all, but I'm sure that they. But
no, they look 100% civilian. I mean, okay, maybe they might have did an 18 jury rig and put their own armor plating inside the hull, but
they were supposed to be building them from scratch. So I don't know.
They're unremarkable looking boats.
They
are the ones I've seen.
Boats. And they don't. They
look like Chris Crafts and the kind of crappy 20-foot water ski boat you might buy at Walmart to plop into the lake on a weekend and either do some fishing with it or tow your drunk buddies around on skis and boards behind your boat. That's what they look like.
There's a LT light combat boat you can buy. Just civilians can buy it. It's lightly armored too. But it's a different. It's not a metal armor. It's a combination of a
Well, you buy any commercial yacht. My grandfather had a 68-foot Hatteras fishing yacht, sport fishing vessel. He didn't have the yacht, the sport fishing version of it. They still have very nice interiors, though. But however, in the engine room, there is a weapons cabinet where there is room for, like, I don't know, I think 5 or 6 shotguns. One of which was a Marine style shotgun. I believe it was the Mossberg 500 model, and it had the buoy attachment. So if a man went overboard, there's this. It makes it look like an RPG kind of. Then you shoot this buoy, which takes a rescue rope out to the man overboard.
Yeah, they got.
So even civilian vessels are slightly militarily armed a little bit. You need
but yeah,
it
you can. But I mean, you can get. There's a couple of versions of that you can get and do some stuff with. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, lightly armored or not, what those boats are shooting will easily blow through that. So any phalanx weapon, any 5-inch or anything like that's gonna blow right through that shit like it's nothing. And we're not even.
Well, I mean, even an M16 fired from the forecastle, you could easily kill the operators.
The Air Force should have a damn couple of dozen helicopters out there anyway. Just
you could put a couple of miniguns in the wing doors
or just deploy some A-10s.
Yeah,
they'll have fun sinking them little boats.
Can A-10s land and come off of aircraft carriers?
They've had them do it before, but I don't think they want them to do it. Something to do with the way that gun is heavy.
Well, yeah, I mean it takes up the entire front nose of the plane.
Yeah, but it's the weight when it comes down, when it slams the front of the plane down. And Navy pilots, they kind of when they come in, people think you'll see landings that do like this sometimes, but really a good pilot don't do that. When a good pilot comes in, you'll see the hook catch, and you won't see the plane slam down. You'll see just a whole plane kind of nose in because he's brought it in nice and smooth, and there's no jerking down. It's just tightening up until it stops. And those are the difference between a good pilot. But I've watched them come in P3s and stuff, and boom, knock off the front wheel, go sailing off the freaking plane and shit.
Hey, I like the new background. Look at how it actually frames the panel guests like you and I. Let me turn this thing off.
I seen that when you had it up last week or
last week. This is a new one. I paid
different one. No, it's a different one. That one because the other one had it last week. It had it underneath here.
Yeah, this is the one for tonight.
Jeffrey, let's go see what we got left. Hold on.
Last week's was this one or this one? This one, that one.
Let's see. I lost it. Hold on, dude. I was going to show you, but I don't know what to do with it. The problem, you get too many damn links open on your computer.
You're notorious for losing windows anyway.
Yeah, well, because the certain Google windows, they put it up top. Other ones they put down.
Oh, you're going to blame Google now, are you?
Well, no, they split them. They put some on the bottom, and I'm not always looking on the bottom because they should be up at the top. I'm always looking for that little blue rectangular box up there.
Oh, okay. Well,
and so it's not always up there. It's because sometimes it's on the bottom and it's covered. I'm like, well, that's just bullshit. Bullshit.
Yes.
That's Jeffrey. That's bullshit. Let's see where to go. No, we got a couple. Let's see. I don't know. Like I just said, hold on. Let me find the damn thing. We'll find out. Oh, you mean those things we were playing off of Facebook? We get tons of those. I spam Jay with them all the fucking time. Yeah, people send them to us. Or they come across the feeds. Yeah, it's just it's just different things people send. You think that we might be interested. We always tell people send them to us because news is news. And you never know that you might get something you really want to play, or a poll or something like that comes in. Because we actually get some good polls too. Hold on. Yep, that's right there. That's not what I wanted. I lose my ass sometimes for what attached to me. Oh, y'all seen the handshake between Xi Jinping and Trump?
Where he slaps the president of China's hand away?
No, they were like hanging on to each other, buddy. Who was the most dominant handshake?
There was one prior to that where he smacked the President Xi's hand, and then they shook hands.
Oh, yo, don't touch me. Yo, no, you smell like a Chinese person. Yes, you want me to eat Chinese food? Yeah, Trump, you racist pig, you. You first visited in 9 years, you asshole. You a real asshole. I've been in your country 5 times, you asshole. No, I'm not an asshole. You are. You can hear Trump now. And don't tell me about Taiwan. We blow your ass up over Taiwan. Who's Oreo? Yeah, I doubt that. Besides, I don't think we're allowed to use Oreo anymore. Isn't that like racist or something? Don't we have to use Asian now? I don't know. I don't make this shit up. Look, I grew up, it was Oriental. Now all of a sudden it's Asian. If anybody out there who's Asian would like to explain to me why, please feel free to write in and tell me. You'll see Trump here rock. Yeah. I have more nukes than you by a lot, man. Do you know that? A lot. I have way more airplanes than you do, Tushy. You know, I have like 40,000 airplanes. You have like 10. They'll kick your ass big time. Yes, I have 5,000 nuclear weapons. They blow your ass up all over the place. I mean, I'm going to start doing my own shorts.
Start selling some voice work for yourself there, man. Get in with steal some gigs from what's his name?
Throw Dickhead up on the screen.
Hang on, where are we? Where is he? Oh, that guy?
Yeah, throw him up there.
He's not a dickhead.
Like any politician, that's exactly what they're thinking. He just says it. Like, if that's what's in his head, you're a horrible person. You're a disgrace. You're a horrible and it's like, it's at the same time horrifying and also like, it's kind of like refreshing. It's shockingly the honesty. As someone who loves honesty and has made my career about it as much as I could, there's some level of it where you tip your hat and you go, wow, total honesty. I think you're a horrible person, and I'm just going to say it.
The ultimate, the quiet piggy.
Right.
It's a quiet piggy.
Yeah.
Fetterman, shut up, dude.
That's the president of America.
No,
that's a quiet piggy.
That's why
I mean, it's like all you can do is just, like.
I don't get mad when he sends out these tweets anymore about me. It's like, because the next day, I feel like it's forgotten. Yeah, I don't know.
A long time ago, yeah.
I don't know if he remembers. Like any politician, that's exactly what they're thinking. He just says it. Like, if that's what's in his head, you're a horrible person. You're a disgrace. You're a horrible and it's like, it's at the same time horrifying and also like, it's kind of like refreshing. It's shockingly the honesty. As someone who loves honesty and has made my career about it as much as I could, there's some level of it where you tip your hat and you go, wow, total honesty. I think you're a horrible person, and I'm just going to say it.
The ultimate, the quiet piggy.
Right. Yeah.
That's the president of America.
No,
that's a quiet piggy.
That's why I don't.
They're quiet. Who is these people?
Maybe you know what a zombie is. It's worse than horrible because a zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring. You mean like Democrats? Maybe you know what a zombie is. It's worse than horrible because a zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring. You mean like Democrats? Maybe you know what a zombie is. It's worse than horrible.
No, man. Comes up with this stuff. Hey, I know this guy. Look at he's so cute. Look at his face.
Who is this dude?
Hold on. Well, if he comes on, he's going to be on Instagram. I guess not. He'd get ready to get dropped up. Yeah, we know this guy, man.
You go to a pop-up, it must have. It's not here.
Oh, it's on a pop-up. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh no, not getting no freaky with you, dude. No, forget that. Sorry. Tim is one of our hosties. Yeah, host Paranormal Insight, actually.
Yeah. Oh.
What's this?
I know that song. Look at that giant plane. Jesus.
And the new one's bigger. So what is it with all these kids and all these things like it? You know, when they went and visited the Middle East, they were all throwing their hair around and shit. Now we got 5 million Chinese kids here saying whatever the hell they're saying. Go away, fat man. Go away, orange man. Go home, orange man. I don't know what he's saying. People, we don't know what they said. There's a huge ass airplane. I agree with you. Oh, wait, what is this little weird dude?
Republicans are voting. I mean, they're turning these things in. Lickety split.
They are. I've never seen the kind of enthusiasm.
Really?
From Republicans for the early mail ballots. And that is the recipe for too big to rig. That is how we win. We're outperforming our registration by 10 points, the latest numbers that we've seen. Amazing.
Elizabeth, Republicans are voting. I mean, they're turning these things in. Lickety split.
Lickety dick. I mean, lickety split. Did I say that out loud? Shit, sorry.
If all women stopped working right now, we'd be fine. If all men stopped working, everyone would die. And that is again because men make all the food and build all the houses and the walls, and they used to guard the border. I guess they gave up on that.
Huh?
If all women stopped working right now, we'd be fine. If all men stopped working, everyone would die. And that is again because men make all the food and build all the houses and the walls, and they used to guard the border. I guess they gave up on that.
Asshole. What we got going on here? More there. I feel like I'm like a normal carrier in the city.
What is all the? Oh, I see it. That crowd noise.
So who was the chick in the red that was following Trump around at the engagement and stuff, moving his chair and stuff? It looked like he wanted to slap this chick like twice. What the hell's going on? We want freedom, Mr. Trump. Save us, please, save us. Okay, what's going on here?
They're desperate. The Democrats are desperate to then say, let's pack the court. We've seen this happen before, Alex. This is what they've asked for time and time again. You've seen the American people push back against that concept, but they are going to do, as they've mentioned, and it's been quoted, whatever they have to do to gain these congressional seats, even if it means basically, bypassing any judicial. They're desperate. The Democrats are desperate to then say, let's pack the court. We've seen this happen before, Alex. This is what they've asked for time and time again. You've seen the American people push back against that concept, but they are going to do, as they've mentioned, and it's been quoted, whatever they have to do to gain these congressional seats, even if it means basically, bypassing any judicial.
Well, the Virginia chick now finally just said, okay, we're just going to have to go by this. You remember this, man?
I've
talked about this movie earlier.
Seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships on fire off the shoulder of Orion. I watched sea beams glitter in the dark near the 10-house gate. All those moments will be lost in time, like tears in rain. Time to die. I've seen.
Some Blade Runner people.
Strange movie.
What was a strange movie? No, Jimmy, that particular guy, I think he had like 4 years or 6 years life cycles. They were soldiers, super soldiers and stuff, and they were
artificial beings.
Yeah, they were human, but they were grown artificially. Yeah, it was a weird, the whole concept, because in the end he runs off with one of them.
Debate continues over whether only citizens should hold public office, as supporters cite national allegiance and accountability, while critics warn such limits could restrict representation and democratic inclusion. Debate continues over whether only citizens should hold.
So what do you think?
Only
You
citizens.
think only citizens should be able to serve?
Presidency, at least. Yeah, I don't know about the state level. That should be, assessed by each state's government systems and constitutions, I would imagine.
I think it should be something more than that, though, right? So in order to serve as a politician in the United States, you have to have assimilated in our country. I mean, you have to know what it is. I mean, because
I think you have that wrong. I don't think assimilated into our country. I think assimilated into our culture. Yes.
Yeah. Well, yes.
We've
Same
seen,
thing.
Ilhan
It's still
Omar
the
is
same
assimilated
thing.
into our country, but she has not assimilated into our culture. She still only supports her own culture, almost. And I have very, very good feeling that most of the fraud in the state is all going to be in her district, if not all of it, most of it anyway. But she only really represents her country people, Somalians. She doesn't do anything with her position other than to help other Somalian people. And then when she gets caught for it, she calls it, racism. So,
well, one of the other ones who held a seat from outside the country was, she lost her seat last time. And then you've got the other chick. She's another one who she hates America. I mean, they've said.
What about the Asian lady who was she just now admitted spy for China?
Yeah, but she wasn't in Congress. She was a mayor. But still, I'm just
like,
saying,
that's any worse or better?
So the point being is, you shouldn't be, if you move to the United States and you become a citizen that year, you shouldn't be allowed to serve in politics. You don't even know anything about our politics. Come on, Jay. How many Americans are fucking ignorant about our politics? Lived and raised.
Well, a lot, yeah, that's true.
And you're gonna come here from another country with a whole different set of rules and lifestyles, and you're gonna have to learn about our politics. Well, first you got to learn how to live here, how to eat, our money, our foods, our jobs, our people. Then you can worry about politics. So I'm not really feeling that first generation should be allowed to serve. Second, third, I'm fine with. First, I just don't think you've got enough time in our country to actually understand how it works. I think you'll still have too much of who you are from the old world in you to do an effective job here.
I agree.
So far, all the people that are serving are
said
like
of Ilhan Omar. That's exactly what describes her, I believe.
It's not just her. It's pretty much everybody who's serving in Congress right now. It's anybody who's it's just. Because and I can understand that. I mean, if you were raised in any country but this one, you're going to look at it different, and then when you get here and you get in power, you're going to, revert to your old bad habits. I'm not saying everybody, Christopher, but a lot will. So why not just skip that and say, okay, let the kid or the grandkid come into politics. By that time, their family and themselves has assimilated into our cultures. They understand our country better, even if they're a Muslim and they're, thinking about life this way. They'll have been here long enough that they'll know how things work, and they won't get their asses in trouble because they'll know if you do this or that, it's not legal in this country. But right now, Omar don't know what's legal, and she thinks she's going to get away with what she does. Matter of fact, all of them serving in Congress who are not from here originally feel that way. They feel like they're untouchable. Well, Akeem is from here, but he feels like he's untouchable too. Yeah, Akeem Jeffries. But Cory Booker's the same way. Yeah. What other famous? Well, tell me another famous Democrat. AOC. So you got AOC, Cory, and Hakeem. Oh, that gives me confident. Oh shit. Okay, Larry. I'm sorry. Bernie Sanders. Ooh. How about Elizabeth Warren or Nancy Old Lady? So Ben Shapiro, he's fairly young, and isn't that his name, the Illinois guy, or is that the Pittsburgh guy? Who's y'all's governor, Jay?
Governor is
Don't y'all got Shapiro?
we got Tom Shapiro, isn't it?
Okay.
Or
Yeah,
is it Shapiro?
yeah. I'm pretty sure that's who it is. So they got him, and they got Fat Boy, who reminds me of Krispy Kreme from Illinois, and of course, then there's Gruesome Newsom, and then there's Kamala Harris. Yeah, there's nobody in that whole bunch that inspires me. But I'll tell you what, in the Republican side, Marco Rubio inspires me. I'm embarrassed to even say that, to be honest with you. I always thought he was a little shit face, a little turd boy. Mike Johnson, too. I thought they were both little turd boys. I guess you get a turd boys a chance, and they like, watch this. What do you mean, Stephanie? So we said this at the beginning of the show. Putin has made a couple of comments about the war in the Ukraine's coming to an end. I don't know what he considers an end, but anyway, it's an embarrassment, and he's worried. And the main reason, and this is what people close to him say, is the reason he wants to end this war is he's scared he's going to be assassinated by drone because he goes places and does things. And the Ukrainians are really good about blowing shit up in their country. Well, because they got our surveillance. Well, the Russians don't want us giving Ukrainian surveillance. Don't give it to Iran. It doesn't matter. We'd give it to them anyway. And if we didn't, the Brits would give it to them. We have a really good spy network. And I'm not talking about spies like people in places. I'm talking about spies up in the sky. Yeah. That can look down into your house while you're sleeping and see the mask on your wife's face next to you. Yeah, they don't. I've seen, I'll tell you this, and I hold on, let me think about this for a second. I'll tell you this. I know for a fact that if there was a quarter sitting on a nightstand next to you and it was pitch dark in the room and it was not even a heat source, they could tell you not only that it was a quarter, they could tell you what year it was and what side was facing up and down. More than likely, depending on what system that was being used, they could even tell you the other side. Anything more than that is classified, and I would get in trouble. And wait, I'm old, and this was a while back that these technologies we had. Yes. So, just to put this in perspective, when I was in the Navy, we were doing single tracking lasers. Okay, now we weren't even supposed to have lasers back then, but we had single tracking lasers, and we had multiple core chips, which I don't even think dual core came in until the 90s.
Dual core probably is, well, militarily wise, probably logistically the 70s, but to the general public as a no longer top secret item, probably the 90s, mid 90s.
Well, I know because we were using one of Nimitz in 84, 83, 84, 85. But anyway.
Yeah, but dual core wasn't a thing talked about until at least the 90s in computer talk or references, because it was still top secret when you guys were using it.
So Jesse, we had what they call plug and play. So to help people like us who electronics people, so to fix a repair board on a plane, I'd have to pull the board and resolder the board and do whatever I needed to. Well, why do that? Pull the board, plug a new board, same exact type board, everything, just plug and play. There's nothing, no reprogramming, no nothing. Just take the old one out, plug the new one in, make sure it boots right.
The problem later.
And then fix the other one, send it down to the techs who do that on the ground, or either on the boat or wherever, and let them fix it. And meanwhile, your plane's back in the air, your missiles ready to go, your guns are ready to go, your engines are back online, whatever it may be, because electronics ran everything with that fucking shit. Even the toilets ran off electronics.
What's the old ship engineer's motto? Never tell the captain exactly how long it's going to take you to fix something, and whatever the time is you think to do it, double it, and that way when you complete it in half the time, they think you're a miracle worker.
That's right. That's a quote from Scotty, buddy.
It
came from somebody else. no, Lawrence, no. So no, it's a quote from Scotty in Star Trek, but more than likely,
it is.
It came from somebody in the service. Yeah.
So where did James? Well, James Doohan was in the military. He was on the Navy.
He lost.
Gene Roddenberry
it always
was in the
amazes
Navy.
me. I didn't even know the first 3 times I watched Star Trek that he was missing a finger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Scotty was missing a finger. Yeah, people, he was missing a finger.
Just like radar on MASH. He's always holding that clipboard because he's missing, I think, 2 fingers on his left hand. Telly Savalas, same thing. Why do you think he always had a lollipop? So he could hide the fact that his pinky was all deformed.
Sure, how old are you? You don't know what radar and MASH is? Well,
yeah.
MASH was
look it up. There's this thing called the internet. Google it. MASH. It's actually M asterisk S asterisk H asterisk. It's an asterisk after each letter. MASH. M asterisk S asterisk asterisk.
It was a funny, depressing take of the Korean War.
The name of the theme song, which they don't
Suicide.
They don't use the lyrics on the TV show. In the movie, you hear the lyrics, but the name of the song is the title of the song is called "Suicide is Painless."
So it's called "Suicide is Painless." Yeah. Suicide is painless and
suicide is painless. Yeah, if you listen to the song, you hear it in your head, you'll hear suicide. Yeah. You can hear the song makes the lyric.
Well, they dealt with real world problems on the show, but it's it portrayed a lot.
If it weren't for the Korean War, we wouldn't have Neosporin. We wouldn't know that gin and tonics keep malaria at bay. We wouldn't know what a hemostat is, because at the time they didn't have a specialized plier.
That ain't how I learned about what a hemostat was.
Yeah. A lot of medical tech came out of Korea in World War II.
I learned about a hemostat. I was at a guy's house. I was 15, and he hands me this silver thing with a joint clipped in it. That he says here. Yep. I was like, wow, this is one big whopping ass roach clip. He said it's a hemostat. I'm like, what the f is a hemostat? And he was a nurse. So
blood stopper.
He breaks out a bunch of different ones, and I'm like, oh, okay. So they're not just made for smoking weed, right?
No, the hemostat is designed specifically to pinch off arteries and veins so that your patient doesn't bleed to death while you're either fixing, repairing, or doing whatever you're doing surgically.
Steven, I didn't smoke weed until after my dad died. Yeah, it was about 16 at the time. And actually, weed was my problem. Alcohol was. Oh yeah, buddy. I drank like a fish. That's why I joined the service, because I knew where I was headed. No, I wasn't in any trouble or anything. I just knew where I was headed. I was mad, pissed, and angry and depressed. And I was
nothing's changed.
Yeah, no. I was way angry. Yeah. Not like these days. These days I'm pretty mellow, man. I was like, no. I was not the person. People used to tell me all the time when I was drinking, man, I hated talking to you. You just punch somebody fucking side of the head for no reason. I'm like, no. Every now and then, but for the most part, no. I was just pissed, man. I was 16.
Yeah,
when I was 17,
I was pissed off through
the
the 90s, and I don't know when I did it, but one of the things that helps, I stopped watching shows like Cops, or like what's that show, the new Live on Patrol or whatever. Which I spent my last 2 years of high school, 11th and 12th grade. I was a police explorer, which is it's part of the Boy Scout organizations. They specialize on focusing on jobs rather than skills. So they have one for emergency doctors and things like that, all these different explorer clubs. But I specifically was in the police explorers for 2 years. And then I was in college for 2 years trying to become a policeman. So, I kind of know how people feel about, the first responders. I almost became one. And I've also forgotten where we
You
were
people should
going.
be glad
But-
Jay's not a cop. He'd have been a dick, people. Doomsday would have been a dick. Y'all have been fucking screwed every time you get stopped by him. Oh,
I was
man,
thinking
he'd have
about
been a
that
dick.
right before the show, Joe. I swear to God, it's a synchronicity. I was thinking about it because I really was. I was planning on being a cop, and I stopped being. I didn't go on further with it because I knew at some point someone was going to be shot just for being a cop, and I didn't want to die as a cop just for being a cop. I wanted to die in the line of duty, like trying to save somebody's life. That's honorable thing to do. It's what any cop would want to do, the ultimate sacrifice. But nowadays cops, they have to give you warning. Stop or I'm going to taser you. I wouldn't be like, stop what you're doing or I'm going to taser you. And that's all you're going to get. And then if you don't stop what you're doing, damn, none of this three times, I'm going to zap you. I'm going to zap you. I'm going to zap. No, you get one. And if you don't stop what you're doing, stop. And I'll keep zapping you until you stop what you're doing. That's what the cops are for. None of this babying people around anymore. I mean, this coddling of idiots who are obviously breaking the law, even though they're confused and stupid and think that they're justified in doing what they're doing because they think that it's okay.
Yeah, why are we here?
That's what the taser gun and take them to prison.
Hold on. We're not supposed to be hearing the noise.
What in the hell is that?
Oh, there it is. It's termites. It's fucking termites, man. Oh, they're worse than that. That's not even the worst ones. It's outrageous right now. They were so bad the other night that we got them in the house. I was patting them out of my bed and shit. Grandson said he was pushing them out of his bed and stuff. There's shitting everywhere.
Wow.
Look at him, man, hitting the sign. We're just like rolling in waves.
Another good reason for making your house built out the entire exterior, at least out of Tyvek synthetic boards.
Yes. Well, mine's final, so as long as there's no gaps, it should be okay. Oh, people, no, it's outrageous. It really is. It's here's some more.
Yeah, see, that's the kind of shit that you take out.
Sorry.
Start pointing them northward. Flamethrower will take care of that shit.
So that's a St. Tammany Parish police officer back there.
Yeah.
Oh man, don't put your little shield up there. We don't care about that crap. I'm trying to be all cute. 6 billion terms.
Gotta advertise for the department, dude.
Look at him. Wow, that's ridiculous.
It's a cool badge, though.
Yeah, St. Tammany cops are dicks. I know.
You don't think Democrats have shifted to the left? Check this out. The guy who was governor, who appointed the guy who wrote this decision in Virginia to not let Democrats do something. By the way, this was not a partisan ruling, okay? The court just said, hey, guys, you didn't separate two legislative sessions by a general election like the Constitution says. But the guy who put that justice on the court is now like, the court's partisan. What? And now the violent attorney general, the guy who threatened to kill his opponent's kids. Yeah, that's their new attorney general in Virginia right now. He just appealed their Democrat gerrymander map that was unconstitutional to the Supreme Court, where he not only misspelled his own state of Virginia on the filing, but they also misspelled senator. You would think the party that owns academia, that always brags about how educated they are, would at least spell the state correctly in the laws. I'm a horrible speller, but they have these little red squiggly lines. You just click on it, dude. But the bigger point of all this, John Thune, the Senate Majority Leader, is like, we can't blow this filibuster in the Senate. It's tradition. You don't think Democrats are going to blow the filibuster in like the first 92 seconds of them taking the Senate? God forbid they do. They say it. Listen to them.
I believe that he should forcefully come out in ending the filibuster of the United States Senate.
We need to get rid of the filibuster to keep our democracy.
We must end the filibuster in Congress. Screw you people.
Or people will die. They just said that they're going to disband the entire state Supreme Court in Virginia because they didn't let them violate the Constitution. But yeah, John, let's just stay with Senate tradition. This is why Turning Point Action is probably going to primary you. But this is why when Democrats are like, oh, we need to protect democracy. I'm like, no, you don't care about democracy. It's so ridiculous because the second a Republican state does what Democrats did in Virginia, Wait, they called it democracy in Virginia, right? When another state does that, the former blue district now wants to secede from the state.
Let Memphis secede from the state of Tennessee.
Hey, good luck.
You don't have to redraw maps when you let us out.
But most things that Democrats come out of mouths are not thought through at all. I'm thinking, like, actually, this might not be such a bad plan. I mean, Memphis had a $2 million budget deficit last year. That's with the state giving them about 10% of their budget for $900 million. So they would lose 90 mil. The state would save it. So bye. Also, this is for the state beyond not having to pay them anymore, but also for murder rates. Memphis accounts for almost half the murders in the entire state. Tennessee is currently ranked 5th highest in homicides per capita in the country. Number 1 in general crime, if you can believe it. Memphis secedes, and the rest of the state drops to about 25th, right middle average of the nation in homicide rates. Memphis poverty rate almost always double what the rest of the state is. Memphis has one of the worst life expectancies with very high healthcare costs that is absorbed by the state. Memphis schools consistently rank the bottom 5 to 10% of the entire country in education, much worse than the rest of the state.
Surprise.
Someone check if the Virginia Attorney General actually went to spelling school in Memphis. I hear their spelling program is off the charts. Memphis accounts for a disproportionately larger portion of the state's incarcerated citizens. That state is funding those incarcerated citizens, by the way. So maybe it ain't such a bad idea. Go be like Liechtenstein in the middle of America. See, these Democrats, they never think of things like this. They just say whatever is on their little tiny brain, and they act impulsively whenever they're constitutionally barred from doing it or not. This is why they lost in 2024, which is exactly why they don't want to release the internal memo on why they lost in 2024. I hate to aid Democrats in anything, but for pure entertainment, I can tell you why. And I don't need a campaign autopsy that you probably spent $1 million on, because Democrats are nuts. They are socialists who's willing to call anyone who doesn't agree with them a Nazi, a racist, a sexist, an istophobic, phobophobe. They lost because they have no policies that anyone can clearly articulate other than, I don't even know, taxing the rich. And then when the rich leave, they tax everybody else and then blame the rich. No wonder Virginia Democrats are so upset. Screaming, like Virginia, about democracy are the same ones refusing to turn over their voter rolls to the federal government, but were dead silent when China hacked them. Ironically, all the states that Kamala won are refusing to turn over their voter files, many with a ton of fraud in their financial system. But I'm sure that all their voting is above board, too. Because after all, democracy always looks like this, a lobster-shaped district. Those people would never cheat on anything but Medicaid, right?
He loves that's right. Freedom War weekday on Newsmax.
What the hell is it lobster-shaped district shit about? What did I miss there?
Go back and look. That's why I laughed. It's literally lobster shaped.
Oh, I seen its shape. I was just like, why was it shaped like that? I guess that's where they were trying. Oh, wait, here we go. We got to listen to this guy.
Lobster
Why does that look like Trump playing a trumpet?
We play the greatest trumpet. Nobody has seen a trumpet player like we play. We go doobie doobie and booby booby.
Like
and it's so fantastic. Look at that. My fingers are going wiggity, wiggity, wiggity. I think it's fantastic. You look at it. Dancing. We're dancing all night to the jazz. I love that word, jazz. Jazz.
Jazz hands. Get the jazz hands going.
Fantastic, quite frankly.
Why does that look like Trump playing a trumpet?
This guy's on drugs. Oh, speaking of the real guy right here, let's see.
Yeah, is he playing a trumpet?
Oh wait, he's looking at a UFO. Well, that what the fuck is that thing?
I had to open it in another window because it's not doing anything here.
Oh, hold on. Oh wait, it's not doing nothing here now. What the hell's going on? All kinds of shit's popping up. No, we're not going to TikTok. Sorry, get out of here.
Tickety-tockety.
Wait, what is that? Whoa, man.
Let
me see. Let me go over here. Right quick. X that out for a second.
Oh, look at that. News on the flip side. Detente in China.
Let's see. Where the hell screen go? Come on.
It's there. You have to present it and I'll throw it up.
That's not that. I had to find it on here.
Oh, well, okay. It's there.
Okay.
No. Oh, look at that.
Are you audio at this?
I don't know. Sounds nothing.
I haven't seen that neither. Your buttons are. Oh, look at that bus.
Hit your volume buttons. Maybe that'll turn it up. I don't know.
It's up. Yeah, it's at 96%. We seen this one the other night on one of the ones we were looking at. This one just shooting orbs out all over the place.
Yeah. Oh, we saw that one. Yeah, zooms by. Look at that.
Well, obviously, lightning doesn't bother him any. There's always something about lightning shot it out the sky. Obviously, it did not shoot it out the sky. Hey, Akeem, where'd you come from? I thought we threw you off the screen already. Akeem Jeffries. What is this? Oh, man, they found, so in Mobile, Alabama, underwater at one of the dams, they found the fucking bomb.
What?
Yeah, somebody planted a bomb there. Obviously to do harm.
Wow.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by it when I seen the article. I was like, what? That seems to be a bit on the odd side. Right now, Jesse, depending on whose poll you want to go by, Trump is. Hold on. Damn it. Stop. Sorry. What was I saying before the damn thing popped up and aggravated me?
I don't know.
What were you talking about?
I completely lost my track of thought. I don't know about you, but
I don't know, Jeff. I don't know what we're talking about now. No, I'll play this in a second with the thing I just put up on the screen, but aliens don't like us, man. Yeah, they think we're fucking up our planet.
they wouldn't be hiding in the background if they did. All right, that's up.
They think that we should all die and be turned into fertilizer. I'm just kidding. They don't give a shit.
Sources tell Fox the UAE, can you believe this, has been secretly carrying out attacks on Iran in response to strikes on its energy infrastructure. Good for them. Excellent. Sources tell Fox the UAE, this has been secretly carrying out attacks on Iran in response to strikes on its energy infrastructure. Good for them. Excellent.
I had actually forgotten about that. Yeah, they're shooting stuff today, actually.
I think it's incredible what's happening to Gavin Newsom. He's turning into Cruella de Vil before our very eyes with that hairstyle and color. He is really getting spooked. You're watching the man age in real time between what Nick Shirley is exposing and between what your show is exposing and what we were able to find with the homeless fraud. It's really left to wonder what's real in California. It's certainly not Ilhan Omar's fake winery. Is there anything in California that is left that actually will serve the people living there?
I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of fakeness going on all over that state there.
I think there's this myth that's going on right now that, oh, Trump is really losing support among Republicans. But compared to other midterm cycles, he's just as popular with Republicans as he has ever been at this point in midterm cycles. Right now, nationally, we're talking about an approval rating on average of 84%. In 2022, his popularity rating was 76%, actually lower, right, when he wasn't in the presidency. In 2018, the last time he was president, 85%. That 85 looks a whole heck of a lot like this 84% right here. The bottom line is this: Donald Trump still absolutely has juice with Republican voters. You saw it in Indiana, and I think that you'll see it down the line as well if any Republicans try and go against the President of the United States, who is still very much beloved by Republican voters nationwide. I think there's this myth that's going on right now that, oh, Trump is really...
That's why you got to be so careful with the polls, because with his own people, he's doing really well. With independents, he's over 50%. So the only ones he's below on is Democrats. So when you see polls, well, he's got a 42.
Blue leaning sites, right?
Yeah, so you see him. Well, he's got a 42 or 44% approval rating. Which when I see it,
especially blue leaning states, I'm going to go run to the men's room. I'll be right back.
Yeah. I always like those kind of polls when I see them. When I know they come from Yahoo or one of the DC polling companies or the New York Times or CNN, because I know that they're left leaning and they're going to be off by at least 6 points. Well, during the elections, they always tried to put Joe Biden and Harris up by 6 and Trump down by 6, which is a flop of 12 points. But Trump won by 6, which means it would have been a recovery of 18 points. Yeah, so that's how you know the polls aren't even close to correct. Yeah, that just is not even close. And that's kind of a shame because it shouldn't be like that. No, we should. Well, because it's called forcing the poll. That's what they're doing. They're forcing it.
Pressing Mike.
And Sandra, that deadline is today for Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar to turn over documents and communication tied to defendants in that massive Feeding Our Future scandal. The Minnesota House Committee on Fraud Prevention and State Agency Oversight is holding its last meeting of the legislative session today. However, the committee does not have enough votes to subpoena the Congresswoman, so the committee doesn't have a legal mechanism to compel Omar to cooperate. The chair of the committee has sent Omar multiple invitations and requests for documents. Omar does not respond. Omar now sponsored the 2020 Meals Act, which removed the guardrails on COVID relief money and helped the fraud run up to $250 million. Despite that, the chair of the Fraud Prevention Committee does not anticipate the Minnesota congressman will respond by the deadline.
It shows her continued disdain for the taxpayers. She feels like she's above having to answer for her involvement in the fraud and her responsibility as a member of Congress who, she passed the bill that took the guardrails off the school nutrition program that led to the conditions that enabled Feeding Our Future.
Now, Amy Bach was convicted as the mastermind of the Feeding Our Future scandal. Defendants billed the government for meals that were never provided through existing restaurants and sham companies. Now, in Bach's trial, Omar's name appeared in an email chain with Bach. Trial evidence showed text communication with Bach and Omar. Trial evidence also showed Bach exchanged emails with one of the defendants who fled the country. The title of that email chain was Ilhan's Office. Now, back in January, our Alexis McAdams interviewed Amy Bach. She said she never spoke directly with Representative Omar, only people in her office. And the conversation, she said, were never substantive. Sandra, back to you.
Squad Democrat Ilhan Omar closing in on a deadline set by Minnesota Republicans.
Oh, Omar, we love you, Omar.
Yeah, she's sounding more and more like she's heading towards jail.
Let's see. Oh, wait, just another my yard. Where'd this one come from?
Who what?
It's my yard again.
You can't see it. Oh, there it is. All right, it's up. Oh, that's your backyard again, or your front yard.
Yeah,
that's your front back again.
Boom! Look at the whole yard's full of water. Look at that shit. What happened there? Sky opened up or something?
That's what you get for living in a pool, I guess.
I mean, look, there's no water. There it is.
And there's still no water.
There it is, right there. The whole yard's covered. There's that little ghosty thing. It popped up right back there.
Ghosty thingy.
So yeah, so there's something you can see it right here somewhere.
Oh yeah,
there it went. And then it's gonna pop up somewhere back here.
There it is. There's a
Watch,
definite shadow.
So this it. Oh, come on, water, get out the way. Come on, water, come on. Oh, see, there was something. Oh, there it is, right there. Right there.
Spooky things happening at the Montaldo estate.
Just hovering right there in the damn picture. I have no idea what that is. And there's nothing there. Just empty. There's some houses back here, but there's not even wires or trees or nothing. It's just open space. And I would
Could
think
it be smoke?
No, that's got to be at least
someone have a fire going or barbecue? Maybe.
It looks like it's a half dozen feet off the ground at least.
Well, smoke can be a dozen feet off the ground, sure.
Yeah, but it doesn't really have a shape of smoke, and it's kind of there and gone.
Well, what kind of shape does smoke have?
Like
kind
this
of ambiguous, is it
like
not?
This right here is smoke. See, he's got a fire going.
Yeah.
But that, my friend, is something else, and it's gone.
Yeah. Well, my only suggestion is turn the camera off. Then you don't have to worry about the weird things happening in your front backyard.
Oh, man, come on! You always want to know what's going on in your front yard, dude. Give me a break. Somebody sending me food. That looked good.
Ooh, food porn! I thought we already nailed the food porn segment.
Oh no, we're not looking at that electronic stuff either. That's bad stuff. Oh, what's this? Oh wait, what's Rogan got to say?
Seth Rogen getting real with woke people.
What the hell, person viral?
It must have had to open up in another goddamn pop-up window because there's nothing happening here.
This dude's face.
We can't. It's popped up somewhere else. All we're seeing is
hold on.
The page isn't doing anything. No audio, no nothing. It's like that cereal, Nut and Honey.
Yeah,
no
we're
nut
not
and
watching
honey,
it.
man.
That's stupid. Where's it? I lost it.
I don't know where it's at. It's on your screen. I can't see what
No,
you're looking at.
I took it off. It was dumb. Whatever it was dumb. It was dumb. Let's see what this is. Oh, this is somebody's girlfriend.
Yeah, it's like I said, Joe Rogan's like the jock you don't expect to be
unacceptable and
a good conversationalist.
Because of the young men and women who are American soldiers who would
Still
be
can't
sent and
believe
deployed
AOC
into something that was
trying to say
completely
blacks created
avoidable.
democracy.
In a Harris administration one, we wouldn't have
What the
gotten
hell is she
ourselves into
thinking?
this mess. I have good reason based on everything we know publicly to suspect and to be concerned that his motivation is more out of self-interest than it is the interest of the American people. You know, I'm traveling our country and meeting with the families who are sending their sons and daughters to these endless wars. And this president better take seriously any threat that he makes to enter us into another war and send our young men and women into battle.
Shut up.
If
You
this
said you were
president
gonna
is
do this.
thinking about putting us in a position where we're in a war with Iran,
Someone
the
needs to stop putting the
consequences
camera
will
on this
be
idiot.
absolutely unacceptable and tragic in terms of the young men and women who are American soldiers.
I'm convinced that she's an absolute and total idiot.
She is a complete moron. I don't know why anyone thinks she has any kind of idea how to run this country. She
wait,
doesn't
what
even
is
know
this?
how to, run a bar.
Okay, let's see.
I'd much rather have John Taffer take over the presidency than her, and he knows how to run a damn bar. All right, let's put this one up for you. Boom, there it goes. No audio.
Damage done, not just to Nevada, not just to Vermont or Massachusetts, but to the entire world. Joe said it right. This is an existential threat. You know what that means, Chuck? That means we're fighting for the future of this planet. And the Green New Deal that I support, by the way, will create up to 20 million good-paying jobs as we move our energy system away from fossil fuel.
Goodbye. Sorry, I'm not even sure how that got up there, people.
Why is this man always more concerned about what's going on in some other state instead of worrying about the people he's supposed to represent in his state? He's the worst senator ever. I don't know why people like this idiot.
What is this somebody just sent me? Hold on. What is that?
Looks like something John Carpenter might have made.
Da, da, dun, dun. Da, da, dun, dun, dun. Yeah, I have no idea, but that was Jack. Just somebody sent me.
We have come to chew bubble gum and kick ass, and we're all out of bubble gum.
Okay. Actually, I got some other good stuff, but it's not on this nick. It's on a different nick. But it won't let me access it from here. Nah, mainly because of where I'm at. Well, maybe what I might be able to cheat. Hold on, let's see. Well, because sometimes it's off of Instagram, and I'm not signed in on Instagram with this account. It's a different Instagram account. Hey, look, I can't help it, man. Don't hate on me. No, we got a couple of news articles, and we got to get going because we're getting late here.
Yeah.
Hold on. Nah, they could let me do it that way. Yeah, well, screw you too. How's that? Oh wait, I might be able to do it differently. Who is this guy? I don't know this gentleman. Get the fuck off my name, asshole.
Clicking back. All right. So there, we put it up or no?
No, somebody was on my other. Somebody was using my name. That was really weird. I'm sure it's just another Joe Mental of it. It was still really weird. No, I guess it's not going to let me. What's the hell? Just let me communicate, you stupid thing. You have been blocked. Wait. Well, who's been blocked?
What?
Your video your block was hit. Your video was blocked in 249 locations. What? I don't know what we was talking about that got us blocked. It's back now because I can hear us talking in there, but that is weird. There's something Jay played. That's not played. We're blaming Jay. Yeah,
I'm going to beat 5. You didn't like I'm going to beat 500? That's a good song.
We're blaming Jay. Well, I don't know, Steven. It's you know what? Hold on. Let's look and see what we got left. No, let's see. Hold on. Get rid of that right quick.
What you got? What you got?
Hold on, let me edit real quick.
Edit? Oh, you're taking out the boobies?
Yeah, all right, let's see. Where are we on here? On this
We're right
list.
here. Hello.
Okay. Oh yeah, we didn't even talk about that. Cuba is in a fucking shithole insanity.
They are in dire straits.
Yeah, they're burning down the place. We offer them $100 million in aid, but they're like, fuck you. So they're on their own. 30 vessels, including Chinese ships, transited the Strait of Hormuz with Iran's permission, while the U.S. blockaded and redirected another 70 others.
Huh.
So that's what went on today. Okay, there we go. JetBlue announces first ever route to Europe at a Spirit Airlines price. Wow.
Huh.
Whatever the hell, that's kind of scary.
I don't know what the Spirit Airlines price is. So
Spirit. Well, I think Spirit's out of business now, but Spirit was like cheap. You could fly a round trip to Cali for like $300.
Okay. Yeah. Normally it's like 400 or 500, and like business plus.
Nah, it's 400 or 500 in economy. Business plus fucking like 1,400. It's let's see. Scientists tried to contact alien life. Then Stephen Hawking sounded the alarm. Like, what the fuck are you fucking doing? Stop trying to fucking call aliens to our planet, you fucking idiots. We're not very mature. We're not very bright. We don't even get along. What are you doing? Are you crazy?
I believe Stephen Hawking said something to the effect of sending out signals to an advanced alien race isn't a wise idea. Look at what happened between the Indians and Europe. Reaching out to a more advanced society could prove fatal to us. And something to that effect. And Heidi's right, if that's what she's agreeing with. Absolutely right. Yeah.
Yes. Ukraine advances AI drone swarms and robotic ground units.
Oh.
U.S. destroyers just fought through the Hormuz Strait, sinking many little spider ships.
They did, huh?
Yes, I guess that's some garbage. Something weird. Something weird is worrying is happening to the rain. Study find. What's happening to the rain? It's becoming alive.
Something's happening to the rain. Like what happened? Like it's
alive.
already not. It already has been acid rain for how long? We don't know.
No, it's responding to emotion. It's alive.
The rain is.
The rain is, yes.
What kind of bullshit is that?
Fuck, I'm just telling you, man. Oh, the rain is alive. Jay don't like the live rain. Like it's bothering his ass.
What kind of bullshit story is that? Who wrote that? Did that come from before it's news or something?
No,
Sorry, Jeff.
No, that's from the Hydrogen Collider in whatchamacallit.
The who?
It's real science. It's from the people at the Hydrogen Collider in whatever damn Scandinavian country it's in.
CERN?
Yeah,
this comes from the people at CERN? Well, that makes me very concerned because those people at CERN are certifiable.
Okay, anyway, moving on. Apparently that upset Jay. Like I lost my place. Okay.
That's like the most absurd thing I've ever heard, Joe. Thank you for that.
What's at the center of a black hole? The creamy goodness of us.
The beginning of the entrance of a white hole?
No, the creamy goodness of us. A while back, somebody put a theory out that the crest, the bubble of the black hole is where we live.
Well, also in Dune, I believe the implication that Usul Paul Muad'Dib at the end of the book, the Kwisatz Haderach, declares, if you stare into that place, you'll see me there staring back at you. So maybe we'll see ourselves looking back.
Ukraine strikes Russia's airbase and major oil refineries, reminding Putin we got your number.
Wait, I thought they had a ceasefire going.
Apparently they don't.
Right? Don't they have a 3-day ceasefire that started this week or started yesterday even?
Apparently they don't, because that's from today.
Okay, well, that's sad.
Underwater, this is the one I was telling you about earlier. Underwater bomb discovered at base of dam holding entire city's drinking water supply.
What? Okay, what city?
Alabama. It's
really
at the base of the bomb. Yeah, I don't even know how they found it. It was an accident.
Was it like with a casual search, or that's like someone calling a bomb?
Somebody seen something or something hit something or got snagged, and they went down there and found
the bomb. Link. Let's read it. That sounds vaguely disturbing to me.
They think it's a terrorist thing.
Yeah. Well, if there's one, you'd think there would be more, right? So
that's all they found. That's all they found. And of course, they did. The guy alluded to maybe we need to check all our dams, but there was no article follow up.
I wouldn't say just dams. I'd say all things that have kind of any sort of city reservoir that people would be drinking that water. All right, kitty cat, get out from under there, will you? Okay. Out.
Nuclear powered Trump class battleship will reverse one of the Navy's largest mistakes.
Ow.
That was the Zimwalt.
Dumb kitty cat.
Democrats discovered rigged elections. All the elections are rigged. Yeah, that's why we can't win. They're all rigged. I thought y'all said all the elections were perfect. Come on, Democrats, make up your mind. Predictions, market cuts, Democrats' House flip odds after court ruling. And will be adjusted yet again after Supreme Court. They don't put them down to 50-50 then. Now we've talked about this before, so this is really screwing with it. The Milky Way ate a galaxy called Loki. We've talked about the red dwarf galaxies, but and the scientists think they found its bones. The bones.
What? Wow.
Of the galaxy.
So they can trace the actual original shape of the galaxy that was eaten.
So what they think is, and wait, now we ate at least 12 of these bitches. At least 12, probably more, but at least 12 of these galaxies.
Well, I mean, so how old is our galaxy?
12 billion years old.
Like I think 13.5 billion.
No. We're not as old as the universe. We're younger than the universe. We're 12 billion years old. And well,
maybe we're not. Maybe we absorbed part of a galaxy or universe that was, or
Well, I mean, it's local clusters. So I mean, everything probably came from the same source in the same areas. But regardless.
But if
been
we've
eating them.
absorbed 12 other galaxies, it's
But
reason
what
to
it
assume
means-
that
what
there's
it
at least
means
12 different
is-
ages of things.
Well, what it really means is what is native to the Milky Way and what isn't, and what are these
How would we know?
bands? Well, they just found the bones of the other one, so obviously they can tell.
Okay, but
So
how is the
part of
question?
this-
How are they
they're-
seeing the bones?
They're going by, I guess, the radiation remnants of the galaxies themselves, because each one gives off the own. And they showed. Oh wait, I might have that. Hold on, let me look. I might have kept that. Damn it! I'll have to come back and open this up in a second. Let me. Is it right here? Is it right here? Is this it? Where is it? Image file. Come on, go to image file. Let me see. Download. Well, I had downloaded the map, but apparently I did not. Let's see. Maybe I did. No, I did not.
Okay.
I did not download it. So that's.
There's an author's quill picture there.
Yeah, that doesn't do us any good. Just
Cool. That's cool.
Throw that off of there. Remove from studio. Damn. Anyway, I had a picture of the galaxies around us and where they were. So they actually knew where these galaxies were and associated to the Milky Way and how they came to be and how we ate them.
That's cool. So they're able to track like where they came from, I guess.
So what it sounds like though is now they know. So is the spiral? So there's a Sagittarius spiral arm? Is it a spiral arm by itself? Is that just belong in the Sagittarius, or the stars like us? Are they pushing through like wedges going through the arms? Because they were eaten that way, or are the stars being sucked in like on the outer edges of whatever's in the center?
Right.
Because there's a lot of stars in all these galaxies we're talking about, so they got to be going somewhere. And a lot of it's staying intact. So and some are older than others, and it's an interesting read.
Well, but then at the same token, then each of these 12 or whatever, how many galaxies have been absorbed, then I'm assuming each surviving solar system from those galaxies is going to have different DNA strains on it.
That's what I'm saying. That might, I said that in the beginning when I found out that Earth may not be from the Milky Way. That might have been what drew the aliens here to visit this planet, when they found that there was a planet from another galaxy.
They may be also survivors from the destroyed or absorbed galaxies.
They could be, but they may not be. They may be from the Milky Way and found us as survivors.
Yeah,
from the
who are
destroyed.
these invaders? Where'd they come from?
Or they're just amazed that we survived and made it here intact.
The collisions, yeah.
So to them, it's.
Well, okay, so let me shoot a theory at you. What if our solar system is one of those solar systems that, because of the collision, material was turned into molten, let's just say proto disks, the kind of proto disks that can form and become stars and planets and moons and other debris in natural items in space.
Or anything's possible, but it seems like, from what I've read about these mergers, there are collisions, but for the most part, it looks more like everything's being pushed because of the gravitational field and the spheres around. What do they call it? The heliosphere, like that's what's around our solar system. So it gives us a cushion.
Heliosphere. It's the heliosphere. Yeah.
So it gives us a cushion. It's like a big giant balloon. It's
well, I think also like gravitational forces also work sort of like magnetic forces, because they're all part of the same wave patterns, just at different frequencies. And I think something with a larger gravity would coming up fast behind something with a smaller gravity would push it forward because of its mass, and gravity would push it like a positive magnet versus a negative magnet and make it go faster, because it logic and physics, the larger object would push the smaller object because it's going faster and has more mass and gravity to it, right?
Well, remember though, when we're talking about object in space. Just because something's smaller doesn't mean it has less mass. Keep that in mind, because a lot of small objects in space have big mass. They're denser, especially certain types of stars. Let's see if we can get this on the screen with us. So hold on. Damn it. All right, where are we? Got too much shit opened at one time. Close it. Yeah.
Open, close, present, and then I can hit
Okay.
Frodo and put it up.
Okay, is it up there?
There it is.
Okay.
Yeah, yes.
Okay, now
I need some
these are galaxies that we're eating currently.
Really?
Yes. See, that's the ecliptic. See our galaxy. You see the yellow dots and all that going through.
Yeah.
That's the Milky Way.
So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How many total? 6 at
There's
least.
12.
7?
There's 12 so far.
We are eating. We haven't eating, but we are eating.
Yeah. See, and it says the Milky Way is suspected to have merged with up to a dozen or more dwarf galaxies over 12 billion year history.
Wow. And still currently doing so.
Yeah. This is the map showing the location of the star clusters from suspected mergers and pictures. Okay, so
here's a postulation of another theory. What happens if we absorb X more number of galaxies on our way to our collision course with Andromeda Galaxy, and when we get there, we're larger than the Andromeda Galaxy? Who wins?
Nah, because it's going to probably be merging with stuff coming this way.
Well, let's assume on the positive side it does not and stays the same size.
It's not going to matter. It's not going to matter because both our cores are big anyway. So
is it a violent thing where the solar system's on the edge of each universe?
So
as they
it depends.
collide?
So it really depends on how we collide. Is this going to be a head-on collision? Milky Way into Andromeda, just head-on. If that's the case, then you're going to have a lot of collisions in the beginning. A lot. Because there's going to be a lot of debris on both sides. But
you can say collisions/destructions too.
But if the Milky Way is coming up behind Andromeda and is going to overtake it, and as Andromeda spins, it's just going to pull off the edges of the Milky Way. Yeah, which is what's going on some of these ones we're looking at here. Then that's different. Then you're probably not going to have a bunch of collisions. Everything's going to be probably worked out.
So I'm looking at the YouTube page now, so I can see this a little better. NGC 6341 M92. NGC 6205 M13. I think that's mentioned in Star Trek many times. NGC 5286, NGC 362, NGC 799, NGC 6779, and NGC 288. Those are the big ones I can see right off the bat. Wow. So how do they get this data though? What is telling them this? What is it? James, what do you call a telescope? Is it Hubble?
Well, it's not just James Webb. We have those radio telescopes now. So we're beaming out in all directions. So we can actually see the ecliptic of our galaxy now.
And any creatures out there who have radio capability can see what we're seeing, can see our signal.
It's not just that we're doing it on the elliptic flat, but we're doing it completely around.
Right.
And since we can see so much now,
didn't China just build like an Arecibo like
China's got stuff going, and they're not the only ones. There's a lot of big eye telescopes out there right now.
Right.
And we're mapping, and we're steady mapping, and we're learning and learning and learning. But now we know for sure. Well, we knew there was something wrong anyway, because James Webb can see through the atmospheres, so they can tell you what planets and stars are comprised of. And we've been being able to tell what stars are comprised of for some time now. So that was telling us that not everything seemed to be the same Milky Way matter. So whatever created the Milky Way, everything in it should be exactly the same matter. It should have came from the same source code.
Or variations in degrees of.
Not if it's from it's from one explosion is what the Milky Way is from. Whatever created it initially was one explosion, just like our sun. Everything in our galaxy contains our sun's DNA, everything, including ourselves. It's all star stuff. So when you understand that everything in our galaxy is also star stuff from whatever created this galaxy. But now we know that there's other galaxies here. So are we from the star stuff of the Milky Way, or are we from a different galaxy?
Yeah.
Are we something else? And maybe that's why these alien races are interacting with each other, because they're trying to figure out, okay, well, where the did you come from?
Right.
And then again, and like we always talk about, we're not even exactly in the neighborhood. We're off the beaten path. So we're probably a curiosity.
Neighborhoods, as it were.
And we're still back asswards, you know, so we're probably a curiosity.
We're out in the country, absolutely, yeah.
And you know what? We might be in the protected forest. You know how we do those big sections of forest where everything is protected? Well, there might be big swaths of space where everything is protected. We might just be in one of those little spots. Well, Jimmy, we always talk about that we're out here by ourselves, which is true and not true. It's true in the fact that we're just out here hanging off the spiral arm. We're not in the cluster of stars like everybody else, but there are stars around us. Whatever's those red dwarfs are dragging along with us. That's why they initially thought Earth was from the Sagittarius galaxy, because it's inside of a bunch of stars from the Sagittarius galaxy. So they're confused. Were we here and they're just surrounding us, or we're being carried along with them? That's what they're trying to figure out. I stay out of that argument because every time I hear it, it changes. So I just leave it alone. So sometimes it's just best let science work it out. You can argue either way you want. It's a good argument either way you want. Nobody can prove it either or. So it's a good argument either way. Let me see before we go. We still had a couple, but I think we got through all the good stuff. But yeah, I'll let you know. Hold on, Danny. Danny boy. Oh, Danny boy. Let's see, where were we? We went through the Hormuz crap. What's in the center black hole? We did that Ukraine-Russia airbase, yeah.
The shaping center of the universe.
Drinking water is
filled with fluoride still. Mine smells like chlorine. That's why I drink out of filter.
Okay, here we go. So this is where we left off at, because we were talking about they found the bones of Loki. And that's the galaxy we were talking about, by the way, Loki, in case y'all forgot and got sidetracked.
Okay.
Putin
says the galaxy we came from, allegedly, or were you?
No, that's just the one this article was about tonight. It was called Loki. Yeah, Putin says another country requires special consideration. Russia warns of war with Europe.
Really? As if we pull out, yes?
Yes, probably. And I'm thinking they're going to do it because, some countries there won't have a chance. SpaceX finally named a date for Flight 12 of Starship, which will fly with deliberate damage.
Deliberate damage.
With deliberate damage. That is what the article says. I want to watch that.
What does that mean? Yeah, what does that mean?
It means it's damage, and whatever they're testing it is, they're testing it with some kind of damage on it. Oh, so NATO got together with the Ukrainians.
Hey, Kara, thanks for watching.
And NATO got together with the Ukrainians and decided to have some war games. And it says, the article starts off, they would already be dead. NATO pauses drill 3 times as troops get crushed. That's because the United States troops aren't there.
Yeah, well, yeah.
This is very rare. U.S. Navy surfaces Ohio-class missile submarine as a warning to Russia and Iran.
They have the capability of launching 1,056 missiles from their vertical stacks.
Let's see. Where are we at? Britain and France finally getting to the Hormuz are going to be there soon with their little carrier strike groupie thingy that kind of half-ass floats. I have no faith in their military whatsoever, guys. Paranoid Putin makes first indication he will pull out of the Ukrainian after humiliation. And of course, the last one was one of the very first things we talked about. It was DARPA's Falcon HTV-2 Mach 20.
What is it? What is the hyper velocity techno? What is
hypersonic?
Hypersonic. I had it. Here it is.
Yeah.
Hypersonic technology vehicle -2, which means there must have been a working functional -1, and then hence the -2.
And if you read the article, it says in there, no one has done this since. So, and then Jay finds out it's from 2003.
Yeah, the DARPA AF Falcon hypersonic technology development 2003 is the beginning. DARPA, by the way, stands for Defense Advanced Research Project Agency. And Mach 20 hypersonic speed. It's the first one was launched in 2010, so 7 years from concept to actual,
That's why you do private industry.
Flying project, yeah.
Alexa, podcast United Public Radio.
Wow, the first glider was able to fly 4,800 miles across the Pacific.
It's resuming the author's quill with Barbara Lund, author's second hour Sheila Doman.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, tell me about United Public Radio. Well, she sure found it, no problem.
United Public Radio, or UPRN, is a New Orleans-based radio network with 107.7 FM and 105.3 FM frequencies. They're known for their paranormal and UFO-related content, like the Paranormal NL podcast. UPRN also features shows on ethical leadership and soul work, like the Breaking Norm series.
Thank you, Alexa.
How come she didn't mention the chat?
You just made my day.
Because she says that J guy's doomsday, man. She can't talk about doomsday stuff, man. Yeah, she changes every time you ask her about that. And what's funny is that Alexa in the front can't figure it out, but the Alexa in the back can. It's amazed me that Alexa can be done from front to back of the house. And Alexa in LA was smarter than Alexa in Mississippi, which I hate to say, but it was true. I guess more sources is all there is to it. But we got to go, people. It's 12:30. Or it's 1:30 Jay's time.
1:30 my time. 1:24.
He's starting to look like a dog, so I'm thinking it's time for him to go to bed.
That is Admiral, subject currently under investigation for hovering over kitty cats.
You little furry pussy, you know.
Yes. Unfortunately, all but six of the all but one of the cats, likes the dog for the most part. One of them still hisses, but the rest of them get along.
The rest of them get along. They're like, fucking little dog, got to be up in the fucking house, man. What the fuck's going on?
Boris will get in front of the dog and start prancing around like he's trying to date him. It's like, what are you doing, you dumb kitty cat? He's a dog.
Hey, he don't know, man. He's like, what the hell am I supposed to know?
He doesn't understand that dogs, that's how they greet each other, by sniffing each other's butt first. Oh, it's you. Hey, how's it going? Didn't recognize you from the front.
Hey, look, we don't know. We're just trying to have a thing, man. Just trying to have a thing.
My dog gooses me almost every time I come home. It's like, dude, get your nose out of my butt crack. It's unnecessary.
I used to hate when they do that shit. What's that, Jamie? No, dogs are just a pain like that. No, we're gonna get. I'm not posting nothing until tomorrow. I'm going to go find some food when I get off of here, and then no, we actually covered every story we had. Yeah. I've been thinking about that. I'll talk with Jay about it, but maybe we'll do. Well, we still got some clips. Well, not clips, but little segments we want to add in.
Shorts. Oh, okay, segments. Yeah,
there's like 3 of them at least, one for each hour. Well, the show. I mean, we were at 3.5 hours tonight anyway, but. No, the show's designed for 4, but that's not the argument. It doesn't really matter what we do after the 3rd hour. It's just if we want to add segments, we can. So if you've got a 10-minute segment and 10 minutes breaks, you're already only down to 40 minutes per hour.
Right.
Yeah. You mean about the RAM? Just make a donation at I'm sorry, at uprntalkradio.com. Yeah. We have a donation thing set up there. Look it up and see. It was Inspiron 3880. I've seen the 8 gig as cheap as 55 and up from there. I think the average was somewhere around 80. Yeah, no, I don't know. It'd be nice though, because its computer will be way faster. Well, I use the other one, but I'm trying to wean myself off the middle one, and the super fast one I use for other stuff. Actually, the 2 super fast I use for other stuff. But the other one has Windows 10 on it, but I can't upgrade it to 11. It's 11 is beyond what the motherboard or the chip on that computer can do. Because that's a pain in the ass. If I change out the motherboard and chip, I mean, I might as well. I just changed everything out. I mean, I can use all the other stuff, yeah, but I mean, once I do that, we're talking about reformat and read all kind of shit. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, moving into a new computer is like wearing new underwear. It takes a week or two to break them in.
Well, there's ways to cheat and shorten things, but technologies between this is an older computer now. I mean, it's an 8-core. It's been around for it's at least a decade old, probably older than that, probably closer to 15 years. Most of the station's computers usually last about 15 years before they die. They run 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, because that's what computers are designed to do. See, people think you're supposed to shut your computer off. Turning your computer on and off is bad. It's like turning your car on and off. It's bad. People don't realize every time you start your car, you're doing damage to your car.
Mm-hmm.
No, really, people. That's why because there's no oil in the engine when you turn that motor over. So it's metal to metal until it turns, a half a dozen times or so. And then it pulls the oil up and away it goes. Yeah, most people don't know that, though. And then when you live in a cold climate and you're cold starting, it's doing more damage. Yeah.
Unless you certain like up here in this area, if you buy a car in like the Northeast region or anywhere where you have seasons, particularly snow areas, they have engine heaters that will warm up the oil. So most of the surfaces that aren't usually coated at when a car is cold and dry, they are. So there's that.
Jimmy, I ain't living nowhere. I got to heat the oil up in my car, my friend. Don't fuck with that. Oh, man. Matter of fact, it got so bad down here in the 80s. We used to run 10W40 or 20W50 in the cars because it was so hot outside. And we were on the road so much. That 2050 is like honey. Yeah, that's like gear oil almost. That shit's so thick. Only downside to it is it's heavy, so it's in the pan when you first start it in the morning. But down here, it never gets that cold, so it doesn't really matter. But anyway, we're gonna go. Doomsday got things he's got to do. He's got to go be Doomsday.
Yep, I have people coming over for games for one thing tomorrow, or now
Sean
it's today, actually.
Sean is in Ireland, so we won't see him until next week. He's in Ireland. Yes, he's playing with the bloomy short green people. I don't know what he's doing with the little green people. I'm not going to ask. It's not my concerns. Anyway, on that note, we're going to get out of here.
We try not to probe too much.
Yes, and we don't want to judge people. So anyway, on that note, we're going to get out of here. I want to thank everyone for tuning into United Public Radio and News on the Flip Side. Of course, if you have any moans, groans, bitches, or complaints, excuse me, write to Michelle DeRoche and tell her, hey, Jay said, fuck off. Jay, did not. Do not tell her that. She will kick his ass, my ass, and your ass. I know. Can you believe he said that? Anyway, no, really, truly, though, that's who you complain. If you got a complaint, that's who you write to, is Michelle.
And you can send complaints to Sean too while he's in Ireland. He'll enjoy the commotion.
She would never do that. She's a sweetie pie. She's a hard working sweetie pie. Actually, I was talking with her last night. Well, we always got something going on in the station. Anyway, on that note, again, I want to thank everyone good for tuning in for United Public Radio News on Flipside. I hope you enjoyed the show. Until tomorrow, have some fun. Enjoy your life. I'll be here with Arthur Squill and Jay, and I'll be back with a chat. There will be some food talk in the chat tomorrow. I can't tell you how much, but there will be some. There's a couple of dishes I think I might want to talk about. And maybe we'll talk about how to make buttercream icing. Yeah, maybe so. Anyway, on that note, thanks again for tuning in to United Public Radio. See y'all tomorrow in the chat. Until then, enjoy your life. Have some fun. Good morning, everyone. Because it is morning for us people in the United States. It's the wee hours. Except for Californians, it's still evening time over there. But anyway,
they don't count. Yeah, that doesn't count.
Yeah, we don't